Today's a whole new day, a whole new ball game, and a whole new chance at the win column for your Oneonta Outlaws. Welcome back to Outlaws Pregame right here on YouTube. My name is Colby Smith. This Outlaws team comes off back-to-back losses the last two nights on the road. Tuesday night, we're just going to scrap that one, totally forget about that one, because as we talked about with Josiah Azka yesterday, prior to that game against Saugerties, you take out that opening night game, you take out that Mohawk Valley game on Tuesday, and this team would have had a 6-1 record with their one loss being by one run. Obviously, last night, you can no longer say that after the fact. Oneonta going down there to Saugerties and losing by a 7-1 score a night ago. Outlaws, you'll hear about it from Keaton Mark coming up here in a few minutes on our pregame show, but there were quite a few positives to come out of last night. One most notably, Jack Kopko was the player of the game last night, 2 for 3 at the dish with a pair of doubles and a run scored, the only run at that in last night's ball game for the Outlaws. So congratulations to Jack Kopko on taking the player of the game nod last night. I almost said play of the game nod, as we're getting to that in just a moment. With the Outlaws down in the third inning last night, Ethan Conrad had smoked a first inning home run off of Caleb Kempler last night. Here's what happened when he came up in the third. On deck to come up next for the Stallions. Kempler ready for the payoff pitch. Comes set, delivers the 3-2 in the air, out to shallow center field. Dale is Hardin over the shoulder. That's a play of the game candidate right there, as Tanner Hardin, backhanded catch, pulls that one in for out number 2. Tanner Hardin, as you can see, had a beautiful acrobatic catch at shortstop last night. Conrad had trailed in the count 1-2, worked it back full, and then just skyrocketed one on the infield. Jacoby Dale was racing in for it, but Tanner Hardin went charging back for it, put up his glove, and was able to haul it in. So Tanner Hardin taking play of the game nod on that pop-up last night. So you heard about our player of the game, you saw our play of the game, and now we hinted at it already, but let's head down to our coach's interview of the day with Outlaws head coach Keaton Mark prior to this one. Colby Smith back here once again with Outlaws head coach Keaton Mark. Coach, your first multi-game losing skid of the year. How are you guys going about trying to stay positive here?
I mean, it is what it is, but we saw some good things last night, and just moving forward, we got all our pitchers in. We fully evaluated our guys that got to throw yesterday, and now we've seen every single pitcher on the mound. So now going forward, it's easy to set a rotation, just know what we have to deal with. So nothing too crazy. I mean, it's baseball, man. You win some, you lose some. You're going to go on winning streak, you're going to go on losing streak. So just being able to bounce back from that.
Well, and talking about positives, what specifically, despite kind of being shut down at the plate, did you see on that side of things?
Yeah, last night was tough. I mean, we only had one hit before with a starter, but I mean, me and Coach Joe talked about it. We had maybe 6 balls that were absolutely stung right at outfielders, some one-hop hard infield ground balls, and we were definitely hitting the ball. It's just, like I said, it's baseball. Sometimes you hit it right at people, sometimes you find holes. So.
Well, and talking about that specifically, what's it like trying to find those adjustments or make those tweaks when you have quite a few balls that are being hit at guys, like you said?
I mean, you should tell the fellas keep swinging and then try to throw a bunt here. I mean, we had that gorgeous sack bunt by Owen Burnsworth early on. That was perfect. We just weren't able to execute on that. So just finding ways to execute when you can't get balls to land is the biggest thing.
Well, and one guy I got to ask you about, we've talked about him a couple of times already, but Jack Kopko, another good night last night. He had 2 of the 3 hits. What'd you see from him yesterday?
Yeah, it's great to see him keep swinging it. Like I said, returning guy for us last year, he did pretty well, but this year he's on fire. So I hope he just keeps going.
Well, and in terms of how you've been setting this lineup up top to bottom, you got the last year positional guys in here. What's it like just, making this rotation and trying to find what's working?
We just keep going forward with bat and 10 at the moment. Today will probably be like, I don't want to say the last day, but like we're able to catch people up with at bats to the point where we can fully evaluate people at the plate too, just like I said with pitching. So going forward, like we're still going to rotate, but it's easier now to see through at bats. Now that people have multiple at bats and sample sizes, that we can tell like what we're dealing with at the plate and who's going to be the main guys going forward.
Well, and what do you look for in terms of evaluating guys in those at bats?
I mean, not even just batting average. Obviously, you look at stats, but you just look at quality at bats. Like, do people have long at bats? Do people fight with 2 strikes? Do people compete? It's not always about stats. We do look at stats, like I said, but just looking for tough outs.
Well, in terms of specific positives that you've seen in at bats, fighting, competing, whatever, what are some of those things that you've seen here recently?
I think our guys have done a very good job. I think Coach Joe touched on this in the last interview, is battling with 2 strikes. Because even when we go 2, we usually find a way to get it to at least 2-2 or 3-2 before either finding a way on base or getting out. So definitely battling with 2 strikes. And then we've done a pretty good job. We struggled early on, but adapting to each umpire's zone, because obviously everybody's different. But instead of just like complaining, we've adapted pretty well to different zones.
Well, and how do you feel like these guys pick each other up and really build off each other on a night like that, where you might not know what's going to be a strike and what's not?
I think we do a good job of picking people up. So if one guy strikes out or something, and it's a pitch that may or may not be a strike, but we know the ump's calling it. Like, we'll talk about it. He'll walk to the dugout instead of being super mad and just like taking it out in the dugout. He'll tell the next guy on deck like what the ump is calling and where he likes it.
Well, and how do you feel like each and every guy has just started to find their groove here and find their rhythm as we've gone forward?
I feel like the majority of our hitters have found a groove here. I mean, obviously sometimes stats don't reflect it, but we're definitely putting good swings on good balls. And like I said, tonight we'll catch up some of the guys that are newer in some ABs, and hopefully they can get into a groove too.
Well, in terms of talking about the pitcher situation like you did earlier, now that you've seen everybody, now that you guys have a busy stretch coming up, what are you going to do in terms of making a rotation here going forward?
Well, tonight will be interesting because we have Logan Marquez opening for us for about an inning or 2, depending on his pitch count. He has come back from Tommy John, so we got to start him out slow. But then we're going to follow that up with Goebel. Obviously, pitched very well against Amsterdam last week, so we'll see how that goes again. Hopefully, he can continue to have success. But after that, it's going to be the similar rotation to what we've been doing. I mean, Kempler, Matafee, Ubner might fall into the rotation, a couple other guys for sure.
What's it like just putting a guy back out there on the mound for the first time coming off of Tommy John surgery, like you mentioned with Marquez?
I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking and a little scary, but you just make sure you keep an open line of communication with him. And like I said, he'll be going like 1 inning tops, so he's excited to get out there. It's the best way for his arm to get out there because he doesn't want to sit around all game and have to warm up and stuff and waste pitches. So him being able to open up is definitely the best option.
Coach, last question here before I let you go. Once again, seeing the Amsterdam Mohawks, a team you beat last Friday up at 3rd place. What are you looking for in this game specifically tonight?
I'm just looking for us to go out and compete again. Last time, obviously, they had some issues with walks in the first inning, and then Chase Armstrong had that very clutch triple that pushed across 7. And then to build on that, we scored the next time, I want to say like 6 innings scoreless, and they held us to 0. So just going out tonight, just looking to add just 1 run every inning and just compete every inning and not rely on that big inning.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck today.
Thanks, Colby.
Keaton Mark, as always, a heck of a pregame interview, and we certainly delved into things in a big way today as there was a lot to talk about after that Outlaws road loss at Saugerties last night. One thing most notably you got to talk about, the pitching staff. Caleb Kempler on the hill last night, 3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, and he struck out 3. And the big surprise of the night, Adam Champlin going 3+ behind Kempler, 1 hit, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, and 3 walks. And then Keaton Mark brought out Liam Blair and Lawrence Ellenson to throw an inning each apiece behind him, and with getting both Blair and Ellenson out there for a more extended look, as Ellenson threw a third of an inning through just 11 pitches at Mohawk on Tuesday night. He said it, but he's now seen every arm out there in the bullpen, and that's a good thing for this Outlaw team because now they know how to match things up, how to line up this pitching staff. And one guy that Mark certainly had a lot to say about was tonight's starting pitcher, as we'll flash up tonight's starting lineup graphic for you. Leading things off for the Outlaws tonight at third base, going to be none other than Tanner Hardin, who gets his 5th consecutive game at the top of Keaton Mark's order. Matt Carrera going to be back up the middle infield, as he'll be at shortstop tonight, hitting 2nd. Marco Moises plays right field, drawn back into the lineup tonight. He hits 3rd. Ethan Glossa, who you'll hear from coming up in just a moment, is going to be out in left field in the cleanup spot. Kyle Pollock going to be the extra hitter. Connor Waiting, the first baseman, hits 6. Jaden Ross, who's certainly a fun guy to be around. We'll talk about Ross quite a bit throughout the game tonight. Has had a chance to chop it up a little bit with him last night after the Saugerties game and today during BP, and certainly learned a lot about the kind of guy that Jaden Ross is. Certainly a super fun human being for sure. Dylan Millman, the designated hitter, hits 8th. Darren Dangler going to come back into the lineup tonight, get his 2nd game behind the plate as he'll be catching, hitting 9th. And Nicholas Del Vecchio going to play 2nd base, getting his 2nd game of the week after he played Tuesday night at Mohawk Valley. He's pitcher to the left. And the guy that Keaton Mark certainly said some nice stuff about, Logan Marquez, going to be the starting pitcher tonight for your Outlaws. Marquez has not appeared in a game since March of 2023. Had to get Tommy John surgery as he had torn his UCL. And so it's good to see Marquez back out on the mound here tonight for the Outlaws. And March said it, but he is only going to go an inning, maybe two, depending on what his pitch count is. But he doesn't want to have him sitting around out there in the bullpen to warm up and whatnot beforehand. So he's going to get him right out there, get the start, and then the Outlaws are going to go to the bullpen for the rest of the evening here as they take on the defending champion Amsterdam Mohawks. This team has survived 2 one-run games these last couple of nights, both by 6-5 scores as they took down the Albany Baseball Club on Tuesday night by a 6-5 score. It was 4 runs in the 8th inning that really did it in for the Amsterdam Mohawks, helping them to victory that night. And then last night it came all the way down to the bottom of the 9th as they had a sat fly from Pete Daniel, who's playing shortstop in the lineup for them, hitting 6 tonight. He was the Mohawks player of the game last night. Walk-off sat fly as they were tied 5-5. The Mohawks put up 2 in the bottom of the 9th, and they pulled that one out from the Utica Blue Sox, who since coming away from Oneonta on Monday night have yet to record a win. So the Outlaws certainly sent the Blue Sox into a slump, and the Outlaws hoping they can get back in the winning column tonight as they take on this defending champion Amsterdam Mohawks squad, who they already beat in their first meeting, which was on Friday night. It was a 10-4 score, and Mark talked a little bit about it, but this Outlaw team put up a 7 spot in the top of the first inning, which was benchmarked by a Chase Armstrong bases clearing 3 RBI triple, so that really put the exclamation point on it. But they hope that things can factor out a lot differently than they did up there at Shuttleworth Park, because after that 7-run first inning, things got a little scary for the Outlaws as they didn't score again until the 8th inning. They put up 3 over the final 2 frames. Amsterdam spirited 4 runs as they scored in the 4th inning, 5th inning, 6th inning, and then put up 1 in the 9th. But 10-4 victors were the Outlaws on Friday night, and now they take on the Amsterdam Mohawks here at home for the first time. Ethan Gloss dropped by the pregame show earlier this afternoon to talk about his experiences here in Oneonta so far, his hot start at the plate, and now we'll turn things over to him as we approach first pitch here at Damaski Field. Back here on our pregame show, Colby Smith, and I'm super excited to be joined today by Outlaws outfielder Ethan Glossa. Ethan, you guys coming in tonight here against Amsterdam, obviously losing back-to-back games for the first time this year. How do you guys go about trying to bounce back tonight?
Oh, just not really think about those 2 losses and kind of look today as a new day because it is, and not worry about what we did the last 2 games.
Well, and how do you go about just trying to keep your mindset right after these last couple of days?
Oh, just look in the future, or really look in the present and just go pitch by pitch and at bat, and inning by inning, and not worry about what we did the last pitch or last inning. Just really shake it off.
Well, and what's your approach at the plate and in the field been like here this summer playing in Oneonta?
Just keeping it relaxed, keeping it easy, just trying to have a good time and just staying loose. And because when you're loose, you just have fun and just play the game you love.
Well, and what kind of things have you learned playing for Keaton and Josiah here?
Just being real relaxed while you're at that bat. I just tend to get too tense and just overswing and overthink and get too tight. I just gotta keep my flow going and just keep nice and easy and stay loose.
Well, and one thing that Keaton mentioned specifically to me was that he tries to put in as much individual work with you guys as he can and give you guys some tips and pointers to make you better ball players heading back to your college. What kind of things has he worked on with you specifically here?
Kind of just cleaning up my upper half when I'm hitting and just staying loose and not getting too tense and not raising my hands up and kind of just getting my nice slow load in and just going right to the ball.
Well, and how does that approach really, translate at the plate here for you, and how do you feel like it's helped you so far?
I'm seeing the ball good. It really just helps me use my mind, and just all I got to do is put the bat on the ball and just do what I've been doing my whole life.
Well, and one thing that's really stood out these last couple of days is you guys have been hitting balls hard, but they seem to be right at fielders. How do you go about trying to change that?
That's just baseball. It's going to happen. We're going to have games like that. Like the other day, we had four inning double plays that just they made good plays on. We hit it hard, and we can't really do anything about it. Just keep hitting it hard, and the holes are bound to be found.
Well, in terms of trying to find those holes, do you think there's any sort of things that have been lacking here, any sort of things that you guys really have to clean up?
A little bit on the defensive end, but our pitchers are doing their job. They're throwing strikes and getting the plays. We just gotta get the offense going again and get back to how we were.
And in terms of getting back to how you were, what sort of things do you feel that you guys really need to do here tonight in terms of playing Amsterdam, a team you've already beat once?
I'm just stringing hits together like we were doing earlier in the year, and just when they give us walks, take the walks, and then hit the dudes in like we need to hit them in.
Well, and you talked about drawing those walks last couple of games. That number's been down. What do you attribute that to?
Just kind of dudes are getting maybe a little too antsy at the plate and just trying to do too much instead of just like trusting the guy behind you and letting like if they give you the walk, take the walk, and then the dude have confidence in the dude behind you that he's gonna hit you in.
Well, and how do you feel like you guys 1 to 10 have picked each other up in that sense? Always trying to give each other those little bursts and leaning on each other.
Yeah, I feel like we've been doing a good job at it so far. Like we just need to keep it up and just kind of relax and just know that we got each other's back and we're gonna get the job. We all know how to play ball and just do it.
Well, and I mentioned already, you guys have already beat this Amsterdam team once. What did you see from them last Friday, and what kind of approach do you have to take in this game tonight?
They're a good team. We can't take that we can't overlook that. Like we got to go in the same mindset we had when we were playing them game one. That they're a good team. We got to do every little thing right to beat them, and just keep stringing, get our good at bats like we did the first inning of that game.
Ethan, one last question here before I let you go. After this game tonight, you guys get an off day tomorrow. What's your plans for the off day tomorrow?
I don't really know yet. I gotta get a haircut. It's a little grown out, and then maybe golf. Hopefully it's a beautiful day like today.
Ethan, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
So Glossa certainly hit on it there, but this Outlaw team plays Amsterdam tonight, and then they get an off day tomorrow. And stay tuned on our social media pages because we got something special in the works for tomorrow. We're going to try to pull off a day in the life and follow some of these guys around on their day off and see what it's like to spend your summer here in Oneonta when you're not on the baseball field. So golf is certainly in the works. Every Outlaw player, when you ask them how they like to spend an off day, how they like to spend their free time, they all talk about the Oneonta Country Club. They all talk about all the great golf courses we have around here. So if you decide you want to come spend your summer here with us in the Outlaw organization, get your golf clubs ready because that's certainly where you're going to go. They were talking about how Brendan Connolly, who stopped by the pregame show yesterday, was very bad at golf. They were kind of throwing a little shade at Connolly and BP today for that, but Brendan Connolly probably going to join us for golf tomorrow as well. A whole group of guys planning on going, so it could be an interesting occasion tomorrow on Outlaw's social media. So stay tuned as Jaden Ross comes running out of the Outlaw dugout, a little shoe tap. Ross is a heck of a guy to be around, high energy player. As Dangler now going to be announced, and we're getting ready for the national anthem here in Oneonta at Damaski Field. So we're going to turn things over to in-house PA and get ready for the national anthem. Amsterdam and Oneonta, game 2 of 4 in the season series, coming right up.
Everyone now please rise and remove your caps for tonight's national anthem performed by Private Sadie Lincoln from Oneonta. Maybe Lincoln, everyone.
We get our anthem and we get our ceremonial first pitch, and now we're just about ready for baseball here on Outlaws YouTube. My name is Colby Smith, and the Amsterdam Mohawks and Oneonta Outlaws in a huge early season battle tonight. The Mohawks coming in, they're now second in the division after that win against Utica last night, 7-2, and your Outlaws going to be down to the 3 spot after back-to-back losses, coming in 6-4. But Keaton Mark and Ethan Glossa both said it here on our pregame show tonight, but it's baseball. Losses are going to happen. You can't win every game, and that was the message on the bus ride home from Saugerties last night. Keep your heads up, stay positive, because this Outlaw team has certainly been hitting balls far and wide across the baseball field, and a lot of balls hard too, but they're just hitting them right to fielders. Balls aren't falling in. They're getting some fluky bounces, and that's going to happen. This team has to keep their heads up, has to make those adjustments, and just stay ready, keep swinging, because that's the one thing that this team cannot do is get behind on themselves, get down, because that's when the losses will start to pile up. And this team doing something special to start the year. They tied the best start in Outlaws team history, and since, of course, the back-to-back losses. But as I said once already, it's going to happen. The losses are a part of baseball. But the starting pitcher on the hill for the Oneonta Outlaws, concluding his warm-up tosses, is Logan Marquez. Marquez 6'1", 190 from Summerville, South Carolina. His last pitching appearance, we talked about it in pregame, but you might just be tuning in to join us here just beyond the 7 o'clock hour, was March 13th of 2023. He has not thrown in 1 year and 3 months exactly. So Logan Marquez only going to throw an inning, maybe 2 here for Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska's squad to begin the ball game tonight. They didn't want to have him sitting down there in the bullpen, not knowing when he was going to throw, so wanted to give him the nod right from the get-go to begin this ball game. He'll be on a strict pitch count, so we'll see how Marquez fares facing live batters for the first time in 15 months. Marquez and Michael O'Brien ready to go here at the Maskey Field. The delivery O'Brien lays off, and that's ball 1 as Logan Marquez welcome back to the pitcher's mound. O'Brien 6'1", 190. From Mississippi State here at the top of the Amsterdam order as the 1-0 skyrocketed in foul ground, left field side. Takes a hop and rolls into the Outlaw bullpen area, so the count will go even at 1-1. O'Brien, a lefty swinger, as this lineup very alternated in terms of lefties-righties, which is one thing that the Outlaws haven't seen too much of in the early part of the season. A lot of righty-heavy lineups in this Eastern Division this year, with this team certainly being an exception to that. 1-1 now the count on Michael O'Brien. As Marquez from the stretch fires it in low for ball 2. It's Darren Dangler back behind the plate tonight for Logan Marquez. Third to first on the infield for Oneonta. It's Tanner Hardin, Matt Carrera, Nick Delvecchio, and Connor Wading. 2-1 as Marquez once again comes set, deals it in. Called strike on that upper outside corner. Marquez evening up the score at 2-2 against Michael O'Brien, and left to right in the outfield for Oneonta. It's Glossa, Ross, and Moises. It's the 2-2 from Marquez, tipped straight to the screen behind the plate, foul. And O'Brien has now seen 5 pitches here to begin this game. O'Brien coming in 6 for 13 on the season here for Amsterdam, making his first time in the leadoff hole tonight. As Marquez once again ready, deals the 2-2, low and away for ball 3 as the count's going to go full. O'Brien's worked at least 1 walk in all 4 of the games he's played, even worked 2 against Saugerties on Sunday. As Marquez with a payoff pitch, called strike 3 on the lower outside corner. Marquez with a strikeout for the first time in 15 months. How about that?
Next up for Amsterdam, the right fielder from Alabama, number 29.
Logan Marquez with a great return to the pitcher's mound with a strikeout on the leadoff batter, Michael O'Brien. We turn things down to Evan Hager, who's playing right field tonight for the Amsterdam Mohawks. We'll run through their full lineup 1 to 10 here in just a minute. First pitch of the AB, slow dribbler to the screen behind the plate, foul. So the count 0-1 on Evan Hager, the 6'2", 200-pound lefty from Alabama. He's making his Amsterdam Mohawk debut here tonight in the 2 spot for Keith Griffin's club. Marquez with the 0-1. Up and away, ball 1 as it goes back even. Drake DiGiorno playing second base, going to be the 3-hole guy. Jimmy Dion playing first, hitting 4th. Cade Ladohoff, the extra hitter, 5th. Pete Daniel, the shortstop, going to be 6th as the 1-1. Called strike on the lower outside edge. 1-2 it'll be. Liam Wilson, the third baseman, 7th. Javier Williams, the left fielder, hits 8th. Aiden Stewart, the designated hitter, 9th. And Steven Spalletta, the catcher, going to be down in the 10 spot. 1-2 now to count. Marquez fires, swing and a miss, and he's got back-to-back Ks to begin the game. Logan Marquez going to that 4-seam fastball and polishing off a second straight strikeout. Drake DiGiorno with that flashy batter's helmet that we talked about up at Shuttleworth Park last weekend. Has a touch of pink and purple to it on an all-black batting helmet as he's set up in the righty batter's box, first righty that Marquez sees. Infield for Oneonta drifting in as DiGiorno with an elevator shot on the infield. Delvecchio and Carrera. Delvecchio pulls it down for the out, and that'll be 3 in a row. Logan Marquez mows him down in the top of the first, and we go to the bottom half of the first inning. 0-0 score here in Oneonta.
No runs.
Back to Oneonta here on Outlaws YouTube as we flash our Outlaw lineup on the screen one more time for you. In this first inning, you'll see Tanner Hardin, Matt Carrera, and Marco Moises come to the plate. Ethan Glossa, Kyle Pollock, Connor Wading, Jaden Ross, Dylan Millman, Darren Dangler, and Nicholas Delvecchio, the 1-10 for Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska as they return home to take on this Amsterdam Mohawks squad. This Mohawks team averaging 8.22 runs per game thus far in the Outlaws, 7.1 as Hardin lays off the first pitch, but it's a called strike, so it'll go 0-1. The starter on the bump tonight for the Mohawks is Gage Haley, who makes his third appearance and the first against a team not named the Dragons. Hardin blisters this one in the foul ground as it rolls 2. Outlaws do have action down in the bullpen, so we'll see if Logan Marquez does come out and start a second inning or if he's one and done, as this is going to miss off the plate for ball 2. Hardin, a guy who Keaton Mark and Josiah Aska have praised for his very patient approach at the dish, waits for his pitch as the 2-2. Slow little roller to second to DiGiorno, able to scoop it up to Dion in time. It'll be 4-3 to retire Hardin for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. Matt Carrera now going to come up next for the Outlaws. Carrera, a guy who's been dealing with some injury issues to begin the season here in Oneonta, but he's still put together an impressive stat line. 2 for 8 over the course of his first 3 games. Has not played since Monday against Utica as he takes ball 1. Carrera with 1 RBI, 5 walks, and 4 strikeouts entering the evening as Haley's 1-0. Right down the heart of the plate, Carrera with a slow little roller into left. He's going to have the first hit of the game. Carrera took a huge turnaround first as he's on with 1 out here in the Oneonta half of the first.
From the University of New Orleans, number 23, Marco Moises.
Marco Moises, the lefty batter from the University of New Orleans, now going to come to the plate for Oneonta. From Santo Domingo of the Dominican Republic, he's in his 5th game tonight here for the Outlaws. Carrera with a huge dancing lead off of first as Moises whiffed at that one. He'll trail 0-1 in the count. Moises just 1 for 9 to begin his Outlaw tenure, hoping he can change that here tonight against the defending champions who've won 2 in a row in the league and 3 of the last 4 as Haley tried to pick off and Carrera went diving back in there head first. Carrera always a threat to steal on the base pass. Finished 4th on the team at Hudson Valley this year in stolen bats as the 0-1 misses off the plate for ball 1. Ethan Glossa, the left fielder who you heard from on our pregame show today, waiting in the on-deck circle for the Outlaws. Shadows creeping in towards home here on this Thursday night affair between the Mohawks and Outlaws. Big Eastern Division showdown, the 1-1. Moises lays off as that's ball 2. Haley going 3 straight off-speed pitches to Moises to begin this at-bat. Moises, one of those guys who just hasn't gotten balls to fall his way for the Outlaws, as he's had a couple of deep fly balls to the outfield that just haven't dropped in for hits. One thing that this team is certainly hoping that they can see the better fortune of tonight here against this Mohawks defense. 2-1, took a big swing, and now he'll trail, or excuse me, it'll be even at 2-2. Just got to keep swinging and wait for your pitch was the message to this team last night on the bus. Quick little litsy to first. Haley comes back set. 2-2 count, 1 away here in the bottom of the first. Moises going to go down swinging. Haley goes with a blazing fastball, the first one he had thrown in that at-bat, and Moises retired on strikes ahead of Ethan Glossa. Glossa playing left field tonight for the Outlaws. Just his 3rd time getting into the field, and this is 6th game of the season. He's 4 for 15 to begin, has 4 ribbies, but still looking for his first extra base hit. As he lays off this one, ball 1, it'll go. Kyle Pollock going to come out and wait on deck here for the Outlaws. He's the extra hitter tonight after catching the game down at Saugerties yesterday. Quick glance to first, the 1-0. Once again lays off, but a called strike on that lower outside corner. Count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Glossa 0 for 1 with a walk at Mohawk Valley the other day, off last night. Took a huge swing at the 1-1 as Haley going back to that fastball to get ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and Haley 1 strike away from getting out of this first inning and straining Carrera down there at first. Haley kicks and delivers. Slow bouncer, going to roll into the third base coaching box. So Glossa hangs around. Glossa talked about his 2-strike approach this afternoon, how he always chokes up about 3 inches on his bat when he gets down in a count like this. The 1-2, Carrera on the move, but a swing and a miss, going to end the inning. They strain Carrera down there first, so it'll be no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base here for the Outlaws in the bottom of the first. Let's go to the top of the second, 0-0 game here at Demaski Field. Logan Marquez is going to stay in the ballgame to at least begin this top of the second inning. It'll be 4-5 set for the Mohawks as he mowed them down 1-2-3 in the first inning. Got a pair of strikeouts on the first two hitters he saw. And up will come Jimmy Dion in the 4th spot in the Mohawk order. This Amsterdam team on a 3-game win streak following Friday night's loss as Moises drifts in, makes the fly ball catch for the out. So there'll be one away as first pitch swinging for Dion, going to send him down. And Cade Ladahoff now going to come to the plate. Cade Ladahoff going to be seeing Oneonta for the second time. He went 2 for 5 last Friday night. Had the only extra base hit in the game for the Mohawks in that 10-4 loss. Marquez deals this one in there, called strike one. Ladahoff 5'10", 200 pounds from Bradenton, Florida. He's hitting .444, now coming into his 10th game here on the road. Huge swing and a miss as the count's going to go 0-2. Ladahoff, 2 homers and 8 RBIs. He was keeping pace with Ethan Conrad until he went yard last night against this same Outlaw club. Now has the PGCBL home run lead at 3. 0-2, another swing and a miss, and Marquez up to 3 Ks. Marquez looking like he's been out there every day of the week, yet he is seeing live batters for the first time since last March. He's coming off a Tommy John surgery, so it's remarkable to see him back out on the hill for the Outlaws this summer. Low 90s velocity was what he was expecting out of himself here tonight. He gets called strike on that lower inside corner to Daniel. Throws a 4-pitch Mitch, said he was going to rely on a lot of four seams and sinkers to get through this outing against the Mohawks. Is the 0-1 slow dribbler going to stay in fair territory, but they say it clipped off his shoe, and so the count will be 0-2. Marquez 1 strike away from finishing off 2 innings in his return to the mound. Daniel has been great for the Mohawks thus far on the season, hitting .429 as Marquez set from the stretch the 0-2. Daniel with a slow bouncer to second base, picked up by Del Vecchio to first in time. And Marquez has finished off 2 innings in his return to the hill. We go to the bottom of the second here in Oneonta. 0-0 ball game between the Mohawks and Outlaws. Five, 6, 7 for the Outlaws here in the bottom half of inning number 2 as we welcome you back to Outlaws YouTube. Oneonta gets the first hit of the ball game back in the bottom of the first inning. Matt Carrera on a single in the left field. Was a slow hit ball off the bat, but Carrera took a huge turn. Almost looked like he was going to go second. Held up at first, got stranded there. Is Pollock going to trail in the count 0-1. here to begin the second inning. Connor waiting, Jaden Ross going to be up to follow him as the umpires quickly going to converse. At least we're seeing communication from our umpires tonight, something that we didn't see the other night here in our game against the Blue Sox. So our home plate umpire going to take his respective plays back behind the plate. Keaton Mark going to have a quick conversation with our home plate umpire as well. Don't know if I've ever seen so many conversations about the first pitch of an inning ever. But Pollock going to settle back in. He is behind in the count, 0-1. Haley deals it in there, low and outside as it goes even 1-1. Pollock in the extra hitter spot for this Outlaw team tonight as they opt to bat 10 for the 11th straight game. The 1-1 towards second, diving was DiGiorno, and it rolls into right. And the Outlaws have a leadoff base runner to begin the second.
Now batting, Connor waiting.
So Pollock finds a hole between first and second base as DiGiorno was shifted over closer to that second base bag. So the Outlaws register their first 2 hits of the night, and up will come Mr. Connor Waiting. Waiting 6'1", 225. Tonight will be his 6th game here for the Oneonta Outlaws. Pollock dancing off of first base. As a breaking pitch going to be a called strike 1. Haley, you expected it that he was going to go curveball and sliders, trying to get ahead on these Outlaw hitters and then use that fastball to try to put them down. It's the 0-1, Waiting, skyrockets the ball to left field. Charging back goes Williams, and it leaves the wall. Gets over the fence and left. Connor Waiting, a 2-run shot, and the Outlaws lead 2-0. Waiting absolutely walloped that one. As he clears the wall in left field, you not only have to hit one far, you have to hit it high to get it over the fence at Demaski Field. And Waiting does just that. Is the score going to be 2-0? Waiting going to be up to 3 ribbies on the summer. And Jaden Ross now going to come up. Tough act to follow was that 2-run homer. Ross going to lay off the first pitch as it came up high at the hand, ball 1. Ross put a good spin on a couple of balls in batting practice today, so hoping he can find that same success in the game here tonight. Is the count going to be even at 1-1? Ross, it was fun talking to him last night after the Saugerties game, a guy who certainly brings a very positive approach game day and non-game days for every team he's a part of. We're hoping at some point later on in the season we can get Ross mic'd up during a batting practice or something before a game, and hopefully have some more Jaden Ross content for you that way. Is the count going to be now 3-1? So Connor Waiting goes yard with a 2-run homer, and the Outlaws have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second at home. Ross going to take a called strike, and he has a word with the home plate umpire, as that pitch looked like it was quite low. So the count full on Ross with still nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Already 2 runs home in the inning as Haley kicks and fires, and it drills Ross on the arm. And so the Outlaws with another base runner. Ross draws the hit by pitch, the first one he's taken of the summer, and up will come Dylan Millman for the Outlaws. But not before we get a trip to the mound here for Amsterdam. Certainly not the situation they wanted to be in on the road here against the Outlaws. Zach Breen, the pitching coach for Amsterdam, a longtime part of the staff, trying to settle down his pitcher, who's been pretty solid to begin his season. Coming into tonight, Gage Haley's numbers, 1-0 record, 3.37 ERA, 2 starts, 2 appearances, 8 innings pitched. giving up just 3 runs, all of which were earned. 8 hits total with 12 strikeouts and 6 walks. He lasted longer in his second appearance as his first outing, a start at Glens Falls. He was the opening night starter for this Amsterdam Mohawks team. Went 3 innings that night, giving up 5 hits, 3 runs, all of which were earned. And then the next time around versus Glens Falls, home game for the Mohawks on June 6th, shut him down for 5 innings, giving up 3 hits, 3 walks, and he struck out 9. So Breen took quite a long time talking to Haley out there on the bump. Still nobody away here in the bottom of the second inning, and the Outlaws on top 2-0. It's Dylan Millman who comes up next for the Outlaws. He's the designated hitter. As we said, Oneonta once again batting 10, and Millman lays off the first pitch for ball 1. This Outlaw team trying to get back to their winning ways tonight, coming in losers of 2 in a row, and the Amsterdam Mohawks have won 3 straight after losing to this Outlaw team last Friday. Millman takes a curveball for strike 1, and it goes even. Ross down there taking quite a lead off of first. Going to have to try to catch him on Saturday before we head to Amsterdam, get him as our pregame interview for Saturday. That's the goal. Count 1-1. Ross is on the move. Throw from Spalletta down to second. High and going to go into center field. Ross going to hold up there as it only got to shallow center, and O'Brien's got a cannon. But Ross going to get a stolen bag, and the Outlaws with a runner in scoring position with still nobody out and a 1-2 count on Millman. Darren Dangler waiting in the on-deck circle for the Outlaws as we're already down to the 8th spot in the order, and Haley's yet to get out in the second inning. Ross with a huge lead off of second base here for Oneonta. Is Haley going to come back set on the first base side? Now he'll opt to step off and take a moment here. Spalletta is going to come out and talk to him as there's some kind of miscommunication going on between the two of them in the second inning. Haley didn't expect him to almost seemingly be calling his own game out there, but not much communication at all going on between him and Spalletta between pitches. So Spalletta, content with what he hears, he'll go back behind the plate. Counts 1-2 on Dylan Millman. Millman playing in his 3rd game tonight, and his first home game. Is in all technicality game 1 of the doubleheader against Albany, a road game in terms of statistics-wise. Millman with a bouncer over towards short. It's Wilson who fields and fires to first. The stretch they call out. Ross stays put down there at second. Was a great play by Wilson to fire that one to first. But Millman, if you ask me from our angle up here, certainly looked like he had got his foot there first. 1 away, Ross still at second, and Darren Dangler now going to come up for the Outlaws. Dangler making his 2nd appearance of the summer behind the plate tonight. He's done some DH and EH duties so far as well. Also played the outfield once. As Dangler takes a called strike 1. Dangler 3 for 7, and certainly a small sample size, but is the team batting average leader at .429 entering tonight. Game 11 for the Outlaws as they come in 6-4. And game 10 for the Mohawks as they're 7-2. Quick check down to second. Is Haley home with the 0-1. Dangler into the gap in left center field. Falls in, rolls a ways back. Ross going to cruise on in to score. Dangler trying to get to second. He's there standing up, and he's got himself an RBI double. It's 3-0 Outlaws. Dangler going to pick up an RBI in the 9th spot in the order for Keaton Mark. And Nicholas Del Vecchio now going to walk to the plate. Del Vecchio playing his first game at home and 2nd game since joining Oneonta. His team at LIU went deep in the NCAA playoffs. Pulled off one of the upsets of the tournament defeating North Carolina, who was number 1 seed. Del Vecchio with an elevator shot in the shallow left, and Daniel able to make the play, racing back from short, and there's now 2 away, and we go back to the top of the Outlaw lineup. Tanner Hardin grounded out 4-3 to begin the night for the Outlaws at the plate. We're to 7 pitch at bat to begin the game, and he's now got Dangler down there at second, and the Outlaws would hate to strand a runner in scoring position, something that's given them problems the last few days. Outlaws, despite getting the win against Utica on Monday night, left 10 guys on base in that game against the Blue Sox. As Hardin, little bouncer to DeJourna, plenty of time to Dion. 4-3, Hardin retired, first pitch swinging, and the Outlaws going to plate 3 on 4 hits here in the second inning. And we go to the top of the third here at Damaski Field. It's 3-0 Outlaws. Well, the verdict holds true. Keaton March said in our pregame interview today, Jordan Goebel was going to be the first man out of the Outlaw pen tonight, and guess who it is? Jordan Goebel finishing his warm-up touches on the hill for the Outlaws as we get ready to start our third inning. Jordan Goebel coming into this one, 2 games, both of them start, so this is his first relief appearance. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 8 hits, 5 runs, all of which were earned. This is his first appearance of the summer here on the Damaski Field mound as Darren Dangler coming out and having a conversation with Goebel ahead of Liam Wilson coming to the plate to begin this third. Would have certainly been something if Logan Marquez could have continued on in this ball game, but being on the pitch count that he's on, coming back post Tommy John, he has to depart after 2 innings, sent the Mohawks down easily, sits up, sits down through 2 innings, and now Goebel comes in to pick up the slack here to begin the third. 3-0 Outlaws have the lead, and the first pitch to Ladahoff, a strike. Goebel went 3 2/3 as he had the start on Friday night up at Amsterdam. 4 hits, 1 run, and it was earned. Walking 1 and striking out 2 was the 0-1. Swing and a miss, Ladahoff. Goebel quickly jumps ahead, 0-2. Liam Wilson. Wilson, a switch hitter, opting to face Goebel from the left side here to begin this third inning. As Goebel fires the 0-2, broke low and away outside, ball 1. Javier Williams, Aiden Stewart going to be up to follow Liam Wilson here in this third inning for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Wilson 3 for 7 to begin his Mohawks tenure in just 3 games played. As Goebel set on the first base side, the 1-2, swing and a miss. I keep wanting to call him Ladahoff, but Wilson going to be sent down swinging to begin this third, and up will come Javier Williams. The two having a quick conversation before Williams settles himself in the batter's spots. One thing that you see a lot of from the Outlaws on the other side of things, talk about what the pitcher's going to start you off with, what to expect as Goebel pounds a first pitch strike in there. Williams playing left field tonight for Keith Griffin's Mohawks. Hitting each spot in the order. As he drills one towards left field, charging in, Glossa makes the catch in shallow left. As there'll be 2 away for Jordan Goebel.
The batter of record for the Mohawks from Delaware.
Aiden Stewart now going to come on up. Just concluded his sophomore year at Delaware and has played in all 9 games for the Mohawks to date. He's 5 for 20 to begin his summer, has 5 ribbies, 11 walks, and 5 Ks. Goebel going to be behind in the count 1-0. Steven Spoleto waiting on deck, and then we'll go back to the top of the Amsterdam order. But Goebel hoping he can send him down 1-2-3 is the 1-0 in the opposite batter's box for ball 2. The lights are on here at Tomaski in this 3rd inning on a Thursday night. Goebel's 2-0, out and away for a strike. So the count's going to go 2-1. As Goebel low with that one, smote towards right. Moises back in the corner, but it falls down, rolls to the wall. Big turn for Stewart as he's going to go 2, and he'll stop there as he's got himself a double. So Stewart gets to second with 2 away.
Catcher from Mississippi State, number 22, Steven Spoleto.
And now Spoleto going to come to the plate. 1-10 in the Mohawk order, both from Mississippi State. They have 4 reps in total from MS. It's the most well-represented college on this Mohawk roster this summer, as Griffin continuously recruiting guys from the South to come to Amsterdam for the summer. Pitch will sail in there for ball 1. As Goebel looking for one more out to get out of this 3rd inning, strand the first Mohawk base runner in scoring position. Quick glance to second, the 1-0. In there for a called strike, goes even at 1-1. Goebel another look to second. Home of the 1-1. Shot off the glove of Waiting, picked up by Delvecchio to Goebel. Safe. The Outlaws did everything they could on that one as Delvecchio backing up Waiting. Goebel had come over. And the Outlaws don't love that call as it'll be 1st and 3rd with 2 away.
Number 26, Michael O'Brien.
Our scorer, Victor, also generous, giving a hit on that one. Padding the batting average of Spoleto down there in the 10 spot. We'll go back to the top of the lineup for Michael O'Brien. Is this one going to get in foul ground, right field side? The Outlaws have the dugout on the 3rd base side. Mohawks have the 1st base dugout. It's the Outlaw bullpen in left field and the Mohawks bullpen in right. Goebel glanced to first. Now the 0-1. Sailing out towards left field. Charging over there. Harden able to yank it in for the out. It'll be a P5 for the 3rd out. Goebel gives up a pair of hits, but he strands 2 Mohawks on base. Bottom of the 3rd coming up next. It's 3-0 Outlaws. Back we come to historic Damaski Field here on Outlaws YouTube. The Outlaws pounded up 3 runs in the bottom of the second, and now they have 2, 3, 4 in the lineup as they look to push across a few more and hopefully force Gage Haley out of this ball game early. First pitch to Carrera, going to break over the plate for a strike. Carrera singled on an 0-1, his first time up back in the first, got left there as the Outlaws 2 in a row behind him retired. Lays off as the count goes back even, 1 ball, 1 strike. In just a moment, we'll take our first look of the night at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard as Carrera quickly going to trail as the count goes 1-2. All-Stars Academy in Amsterdam played a 7-inning exhibition up at Shuttleworth Park this morning, so some of these Mohawks playing their second game of the day as Carrera out towards left center. Charging over there in the gap, the play is made by O'Brien, as it'll be an F8 to retire Carrera to begin the Outlaw half of the third. The Newark Pilots took down the Geneva Red Wings 6-1 in an early game out at Colburn Park today. It was an 11 o'clock start for an education day for the Pilots. Boonville and Albany Baseball Club, the Lumberjacks taking a 5-4 win in 7 innings in Game 1. They're just about ready to start Game 2. Watertown Rapids wrestled down the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 5-2 in Game 1 of their doubleheader. Jamestown Tarps Guns have a 1-0 lead on Batavia, top of the fourth. The first pitch, Moises lays off as he'll lead this one 1-0. Albany Athletics and Utica Blue Sox playing a non-league game at Murnane Field. Bottom of the fourth, Blue Sox a 1-0 lead as Moises takes 2 consecutive balls. The Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs have a 4-0 lead on the Rapids in Game 2 up at Veterans Memorial Park. The Diamond Dogs were the visitors for Game 1, home team for Game 2. As Moises lays off, and he's taken 3 straight balls. Here, of course, our score 3-0 Outlaws in the games that started behind us. Niagara Falls over Auburn, 3-0 bottom of the second. And then Albany Baseball Club in Boonville, Game 2 is now in the top of the first inning, and they have an 0-0 score. So for the rest of the night, we'll keep you tuned on the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard as it's a busy one. Haley's worked himself back in this count as it's full with 1 away. Bottom of the third, Outlaws on top 3-0. Haley from the first base side fires it in. Moises takes a couple of skips to second. DeJurno to first. Is Dion able to haul it in for the out? 4-3. Moises going to be retired. And we'll go down to Ethan Glossa in the cleanup spot.
Playing left field from HCCC number 30, Ethan Glossa.
Ethan Glossa struck out swinging to end the first inning. So we talked about that Carrera single, and then Haley back-to-back swinging strikeouts to end the first. Pitch will be in there. Called strike 1 to Glossa. Haley got a nice curve to break his way. Haley kicks and delivers the 0-1. Glossa half swing right to second as it'll be an L4, and DeJurno sent on down. Ethan Glossa to end the Outlaw half of the third. So we go to the 4th inning here at Damaski Field. It remains 3-0 Oneonta. Top of the fourth, back here at Damaski Field, the Outlaws a 3-0 lead as they played at 3 in the bottom of the second against the Amsterdam starter Gage Haley, who's the certified #1, the top of their rotation to begin the summer. It's 2-3-4 here in this fourth inning. Evan Hager fouling off the first pitch of the frame. Goebel getting 2 quick outs to begin his outing in the third, gave up back-to-back hits, and then got a pop out to Hardin to end the inning. 0-1, bounces into right field in fair territory. Moises has to field it as Hager's going to be on with a leadoff single to begin the fourth.
Now in the Mariners box, the second baseman from Utah.
Drake DiGiorno now going to come up next with a runner on first. DiGiorno always a clutch hitter when he's got guys on in front of him. Reason why he doesn't hit higher up, usually fluctuates 3 to 5 in the Amsterdam order. Quick glance to first, Goebel delivers. Sails in there, won't get the call as it's 1-0. DiGiorno popped out to second against Logan Marquez. Back in the first inning is Marquez mowing the Mohawks down. Sits up, sits down through 2. On the runs, DiGiorno bouncer going to go into right field. Moises charges in a ways. And all the way to third goes Hager on the hit and run. And the Mohawks can have runners at the corners with nobody out. So the hit sign was on for DiGiorno with the count 1-0, and he delivers as the Mohawks going to have runners at the corners, nobody out for Jimmy Dion. Dion flew out to right field back in the second inning. Settles into the box, hoping he can come up with a big hit. Dion in the left, falls down, takes 3 skips, picked up by Glossa, but the damage is done. The Mohawks are on the board. It's 3-1. Dion delivers with an RBI single. Hager crosses the plate, and DiGiorno advances to second.
The extra hitter from NJIT, number 8, Cade Lanahoff.
Cade Lanahoff going to come up next for these Amsterdam Mohawks. Two-way player. You'll see him behind the plate. You'll see him on the infield, but he also just does some bat duties, as tonight he's the extra hitter. First pitch, going to brush Lanahoff back a bit as it's ball 1. After tonight, things going to get really busy in terms of bus rides for the Outlaws quickly. We'll have an off day tomorrow, then 3 straight on the road, as it'll be Saturday night at Amsterdam, so 2 in a row against the Mohawks for the Outlaws. Amsterdam does have a game in between tomorrow. Then the Outlaws going to be at Boonville Father's Day on Sunday, 6 o'clock start, and then Monday at Watertown for a 6:30 game before we're back here Tuesday, Wednesday. Count 2-0 on Lanahoff. And now Goebel has to work out some early adversity in this fourth inning. Already 1 run home in the frame, still looking for the first out, and there is action in the Oneonta pen. Outlaws have more arms available tonight than they have these last couple of days. So they certainly have arms available if Goebel can't go deep like he was expected to here in the middle of this game. Count 3-0. Low for ball 4, and the bases are going to be full of Mohawks here in the fourth inning. So it's DiGiorno now down at third. Dion advances to second, and Lanahoff's at first, and Keaton Mark going to come out of the Outlaw dugout. Mark going to give a nice round of applause to Goebel, who is going to stay in this ball game at least for now. Certainly didn't expect Keaton Mark to pull the leash so early, and as expected, Jordan Goebel going to hang in the ball game at least for now. Up and throwing down in the Oneonta pen is Clay Kotz. Kotz has already made a couple of appearances for the Outlaws here at home this season. Hasn't gone more than 2 innings though himself. As the base is loaded for the 6th spot, it's Pete Daniel. Daniel held to just 1 hit the first time these 2 teams met up last Friday. Was at the top of the order for the Mohawks in that one. Takes a first pitch breaking for a strike. Daniel, a guy who started off red hot with 6 hits over his first 2 games, but has fallen back to earth here over the last few games for the Mohawks. As the 0-1 from Goebel broke right back over the plate, and he foul tipped it up, 0-2. So Goebel needs 1 more strike to put him down. Base is full for the Mohawks. 1 run home in the inning. It's 3-1 Oneonta if you're just tuning in to join us. Goebel comes set on the first base side. The 0-2. Low. Dangler going to keep it in front. Used his chest protector on that one. As the count goes, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Goebel really needs a 3rd strike to go his way on this one. Deals the 1-2. Low again, ball 2. Goebel the 2-2. Smoked right past the glove of a diving Tanner Harden into left field. 1 run's going to score. Turning, coming on in. Dion slides to the plate, and we are tied at 3 here in Oneonta. Daniel comes up with a big no out, 2 RBI single. The ball game is tied 3-3 here in the 4th. So now it's a whole new game, and what can the Outlaws do with it? We'll find out when we get our new pitcher into the game. Jordan Goebel's out of the ball game as he goes just 1+. Keaton Martz, 2nd call to the bullpen of the night. 3-3 game. The Mohawks have runners at 1st and 2nd here in the 4th. Second call of the night for Keaton Martz to the bullpen. Clay Kotz, the next man out for the Oneonta Outlaws. Kotz, 6'1", 185 from Burton, South Carolina, making his 3rd appearance, all of which have come here at home. Pitched on Monday night against Utica, going 2 1/3. So we'll see how long he's able to last on just a couple of days rest as he sails in first pitch ball. Goebel's command a bit off over his inning plus tonight, certainly uncharacteristic of him, and now he's out. He is responsible for the 2 on base with nobody out in the 4th. Wilson lays off this one as the count goes 2-0. Wilson struck out swinging in the 3rd inning, even though I called him Ladohoff probably 3 times while he was at the plate. Wilson playing third base tonight for the Mohawks, playing in his third consecutive game. Is this one going to drill him? And the base is once again going to be full for the Mohawks as Wilson flips his bat away. Ladehoff advances to third, Daniels now at second, and Wilson's at first. And the Outlaws need some outs in a big way right now. 6 Mohawks have already come to the plate here in this 4th inning. And Goebel and Koch yet to get an out. Koch facing his second batter. First pitch swinging. Going to go straight down to the Outlaw pen as that took an odd curve off Williams' bat. Williams flew out to left field his first time up back in the 3rd as the wind starts to pick up here at Damaski Field in this 4th inning. Koch takes a big breath, the 0-1. Once again drilled on the back. 2 straight hit by pitches, and the Mohawks now going to lead this thing 4-3. So Koch 2 hit by pitches in the span of 3 pitches. And the Mohawks, first 4 that came to the plate in this 4th inning, now have all scored. And talk about needing outs in a big way. It's going to start to get antsy in the Oneonta dugout with bases full, 4 runs home in the inning. Aiden Stewart now up as it's the 9 spot in the Mohawk order. Big swing at that one, and he couldn't connect as he'll trail 0-1. Koch has just got to trust his stuff, throw some strikes. Certainly if balls are put in play, got to trust the guys he has behind him to make plays on the ball as the 0-1, low for ball 1. Koch, you saw him against Utica on Monday night, was trying to pitch away from contact, pound that lower outside corner. Worked for a little bit, but he did give up a hit walking 3 as he allowed 5 guys in total to reach. Works ahead on Stewart 1-2. Stewart got the first hit of the game for the Mohawks in the 3rd inning after the first 8 in the order had been retired the first time through. 1-2 from Koch. Called strike 3. The Outlaws finally getting out as Aiden Stewart's rung up looking, and down we go to Steven Spaletta on the 10th spot.
Representing Mississippi State, number 22, Steven Spaletta.
Hit a single on a 1-1 his first time up in the 3rd. As the Mohawks had back-to-back hits in the 3rd inning and couldn't cash in. First pitch going to be a ball as Koch will trail behind. Koch 4 strikeouts and 3 walks in each of his first 2 outings as he saw Boonville last Wednesday and turned around and saw Utica. Waiting backhands this one. They get to play at second. Another run crosses the plate, though. 5-3 Mohawks, and it'll be runners at the corners, but now 2 outs. So a weird little 3-4 force at second base for out number 2. And it'll be a fielder's choice RBI for Spaletta in the 10 spot. Now Williams going to be at 3rd. Spaletta's at 1st. There's 2 away, and it's a 5-3 Mohawk lead. Koch home with this one. Blazing fastball is ball 1. Mohawks are at their 10th hitter here in this 4th inning, so Koch hoping he can send him down, not give the Mohawks a chance to do more than about 1 through 10 here in this 4th inning. Koch not even going to check the base runners as the 1-0 in there for ball 2. Koch looking for some strikes in a big way as the Mohawks 4 hits in the inning. They do have 5 runs, couple of hit by pitches and a walk as well. Pops straight up, Dangler fires the mask off, comes over in front of the screen, makes the catch for the out. Darren Dangler with a huge catch for the 3rd out, and the Mohawks strand a pair on base, but they score 5, and we go to the bottom of the 4th here at Damaski. 5-3 Amsterdam. Kyle Pollock, Connor Wading, Jaden Ross here in the fourth inning to come to the plate for the Outlaws. Haley remains in the ball game to start the fourth. First pitch to Pollock is ball one. He singled, came in to score on the 2-run blast by Wading in the second inning. Pollock going to take a called strike, knee level, and it goes back even at 1-1. Haley trying to hang around in this ball game, pick up a couple more innings. Is the 1-1. Shot out towards right, hits the netting in front of our fan area, and it goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mohawks certainly did travel well tonight down to Damascus. As a handful of Mohawks fans making the trip here. And the Outlaws, all our loyal supporters here as always, despite it being a Thursday night. 1-2 from Haley. Pollock with a grounder on the infield. The second to Zerno in time to Dion for the out. So 4-3 for the first out of the fourth, and down we go to Connor Wading. Connor Wading with a blast over the left field fence, heard around Oneonta Park his first time up. Cleared the fence and kept going, so maybe 350 feet on Wading's second inning homers. He'll trail 0-1. Haley's now working ahead on these hitters with a first pitch fastball. He's gotten the first strike on 4 straight Outlaws. 0-1 right over the head of a jumping Wilson in the left field, and Wading going to begin the night 2 for 2. Take a huge turnaround first, but he's going to jog on back, and he'll be at first with 1 away in the Outlaw fourth.
Put your hands together for the center fielder from the University of South Florida.
Jaden Ross going to have a chance to do some damage here now in this fourth inning. Ross was hit by a pitch, stole second, and came in to score on Darren Dangler's RBI double in the second. Outlaws now 5 hits and have 3 runs on the board. Mohawks have 6 hits and 5 runs. Outlaws have showed many times this season that they can put runs across even when they aren't registering hits, as Ross takes a curveball for strike 1. So Haley going back to his off-speed stuff to get ahead on the University of South Florida outfielder. Ross man in the bid center field tonight for the Outlaws, trying to get back in the win column after back-to-back losses on the road the last 2 nights. At Mohawk Valley on Tuesday, at Saugerties yesterday. Ross brought that bat off his shoulder, but he holds it up 1-1. Ross, a high-energy guy, has a goal of, once he finishes playing, going into coaching, he was telling me during batting practice today. Ross was giving some of his teammates some tips and tricks after they came out, taking their 4 reps. You get 4 pitches, and then you come out, and that's how they do batting practice here for the Outlaws. 4 pitches, and through the rotation, it's batting practice groups 4 or 5. So Ross was helping out the dudes around him today. Is the 2-1 from Haley. In there for a called strike, 2-2. Ross now going to be playing some 2-strike conservative baseball. A 2-2 count, 1 away, Wading's at first, and the Outlaws trailing by 2 here at home. Haley, quick little check look to first. 2-2. Ross lays off, and it's ball 3. Dylan Millman going to follow up Jaden Ross. As Ross has now worked the count full, and we'll get a payoff pitch from Haley. The 4th full count as Ross tips it straight back. So pitch 7 coming up. Is Ross staying alive in this at-bat? Worked a 2-2 his first time up. Now has a full count. Haley once again ready for the payoff. Waiting, couple of step lead off of first. The 3-2, low and away for ball 4. And the Outlaws going to have back-to-back runners on base. Waiting will be at second. Ross at first. And Dylan Millman now going to come on up. Millman grounded out, 6-3 back in the second inning. Now looking to do due diligence and get the Outlaws back into this one. Only trailed by 2, but 2-run lead for the Mohawks. Certainly a mountain. That's in there, breaking for strike 1. Millman has Darren Dangler behind him in the order. Is Haley, the glance to second. Back ready from the first base side, the 0-1. Jet swing. And Millman held up, so it's 1-1. Last night down in Saugerties, without any question, that would have been a strike. As any time the bat came off the shoulder for an Outlaw last night, it suddenly became a strike. Runners on first and second, 1-1, huge swing. And Millman now going to be behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outlaws will see if Clay Kotz comes back out for the top of the 5th inning after finishing off top of the 4th. Outlaws have had motion out there for the entirety of these last few minutes while they've been at the plate. There's 1 away, 1-2. Waiting's at second, Ross is at first. And Millman wants time. This Outlaw team going to be back at home Tuesday, Wednesday. This will be a 7 o'clock start against Saugerties on Tuesday, and then Glens Falls be here for the first time on Wednesday. Glance to second in the 1-2. Bounced in the dirt for ball 2. As it's back even on Millman. Flags are waving out in center field. Gage Haley trying to get a couple more outs here and at least finish 4. Huge swing, and Millman going to be retired as he couldn't connect on the fastball. Haley filling up the zone in that at bat. And now he has a quick conversation with Darren Dangler out of his trip to the plate. Darren Dangler looked like had a quick question for Millman as he walked back to the dugout. Now Dangler with 2 on base, hoping he can come up with another big hit. Had an RBI already as he doubled on an 0-1 in the second to bring in Jaden Ross, who stands at first. Waiting's in front of him at second as that's up and away, ball 1. Haley working himself into a jam for the second time. Not a big even innings guy as he got through the first and third pretty easily with the exception of a Carrera single in the first. But the second and fourth, he's worked himself into some due damage. The 1-0 pitch. Dangler hit that one off his leg. Goes to the screen above the Mohawk dugout as the count's 1-1. Amsterdam surviving 2 one-run games the last 2 nights. As they trailed to Albany on Tuesday early, came back to win 6-5, and then last night took it to the bottom of the 9th inning as they were down 5-4 against the Blue Sox, tied it, and then Daniels had a walk-off sacrifice fly to win it for them 6-5. Comes in tight at the knees, ball 2. As Dangler jumps back ahead in the count. Amsterdam tomorrow going to turn around and play at Mohawk Valley, so 2 in a row on the road for the Mohawks, and then they'll be back at home Saturday night, face these Outlaws. It'll be a 6:45 start, so we'll be live with pregame here on YouTube 6:30 Saturday night. 2-1, Broit's in there for ball 3. Is Dangler hoping he can at the very least draw a walk here with 2 outs, keep the inning going. Outlaws struggled to put together innings last night. They'd get a guy on base, and then quickly 2 would be retired or 3 would be retired. That was a big problem both last night and dating back to Tuesday night. Runners left on base has been a persistent problem, all things considered, through the first 10 as Dangler taking a strike, and it goes 3-2. Even getting the wins, the Outlaws were leaving quite a few runners on base, something they've been trying to tighten up and change. as we move towards the middle part of the schedule already. Tonight, game 11 for the Outlaws. Today, game 10 for the Mohawks. Is the 3-2. Dangler taking a big breath. Gonna half bend as a look to second. Both runners on the move. And it's ball 4. Dangler gonna fire the bat away as he's drawn the walk. And the Outlaws gonna have bases loaded with 2 away. Nicholas Del Vecchio now gonna come up for the Outlaws. Del Vecchio, a very positive person, all smiles whenever he's in the clubhouse, on the field for BP, or even during games. You see him with a big smile down there at second or at the plate. There's 2 away, and Del Vecchio hopes to do something that he can keep smiling about. Outlaws bases full. Del Vecchio looking for a hit, takes a strike 1. Swung on the first pitch he saw in the second, popping out to short for the second out that inning. Del Vecchio behind 0-1, looking for his first hit as an Outlaw here in his 3rd at bat. Del Vecchio with a high fly ball out towards right center field. O'Brien coming in, pulls it down for the out, as it'll be an F8 to retire Del Vecchio. Outlaws strand the bases loaded here in the 4th. We turn things over to the top of the 5th. It's 5-3 Amsterdam. Back here on Outlaws YouTube, top of the 5th, as the Amsterdam Mohawks played a 5 spot in the top of the 4th. The Outlaws load the bases in the bottom of the 4th, but can't come up with anything. And so, top of the 5th, and it's 2-3-4 for the Mohawks. As here we go. Evan Hager takes the first pitch ball. Clay Kotz recorded the 3 outs in the 4th inning as Jordan Goebel left before recording it out. The 1-0, huge swing and a miss. As Kotz pulls it back even, hit a ball and a strike. Kotz trying to work through the Mohawks as quick as he can, as the action in the Outlaw bullpen has gone quiet. Up and away, this sails ball 2. Outlaws going to have the off day tomorrow. Amsterdam up at Mohawk Valley. Another big swing as Kotz went back to the fastball. It's back at 2-2. So it seems like every time that Kotz falls behind, he always has an answer and account with something. 2-2, swing and a miss. Hager going to be retired to begin the 5th, and Drake DiGiorno now going to come to the plate.
Representing Utah, the second baseman, number 3, Drake DiGiorno.
Drake DiGiorno, good contact guy in the middle of the order. here for the Amsterdam Mohawks. He's another one who's kind of fluctuated around the lineup, as Dangler tried to sell that one but didn't get the call. So a ball and no strikes it'll be. DiGiorno coming to Amsterdam all the way from Folsom, California. He's quickly ahead 2-0. DiGiorno playing in his 5th game tonight for the Mohawks. 3rd consecutive at that. So he had Sunday off, played in those back-to-back 6-5 victories. Ahead 3-0, ahead of Jimmy Dion, who's in the 4th spot tonight for the Mohawks here on the road. With 3-0 from Kotz, called strike, it's 3-1. Kotz trying to answer back in this count after throwing 3 straight balls. As the 3-1, DiGiorno tips it up, and Kotz has indeed worked it bat full. Kotz pulls behind against DiGiorno. Now works it bat full. Payoff pitch, low, it's ball 4. And DiGiorno's on with 1 away. Dion picked up an RBI his 2nd time up in the 4th inning, as we're already rolling through the Mohawks order for the 3rd time tonight. We got the Mohawks having a member of their coaching staff come out saying something to their first base coach here. As Mohawks have the biggest coaching staff in the PGCBL at 7 members. So the first pitch tipped right back to the screen, foul. Dion flew out to right field in the 2nd inning, singled, had an RBI in the 4th, cruised in to score. So the Mohawks played at 5 in the 4th inning after the Outlaws jumped on top 3-0 with 3 in the bottom of the 2nd. So this game tonight, certainly a game of momentum swings thus far, as both teams couldn't cash in until the Outlaws got going. Quickly on the move, DiGiorno going to 2nd. Dangler not even going to have to attempt a throw, as that one was tipped bat foul. Another thing that the Outlaws talked about in terms of adjustments was you got to give your catchers a little more time to get throws down there. There's a lot of guys running on Outlaws catchers right now, but have to get those pitches in there. Also have to have your middle infielders close to that bag in order to get throws down there. A couple of errant throws as well. But the Outlaws, all things considered, very solid catching core this summer. All of those guys have cannons back there. It's a called strike 3. Going to send down Dion. There's 2 away here in the 5th.
From NJIT, number 8, Cade Ladahoff.
2 strikeouts in this inning for Kotz. Since coming out of the pen, he has 3 in total. We go to Cade Ladahoff at the 5 spot in the Mohawk order. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored here on the night already. Kotz with a quick glance to first. On the move goes DiGiorno again. Dangler with a high throw. Tag laid on, but they call safe. Is DiGiorno going to get the bag? DiGiorno getting his first stolen base of the summer as he's in scoring position with 2 outs. Kotz with a big sigh. Huge lead for DiGiorno down there at 2nd. The 1-0 breaks over the plate for a called strike. It's even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Pete Daniel going to follow Cade Ladahoff in the order. They need him here in this 5th inning. The 1-1 tipped straight up foul again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Kotz 1 strike away from getting out of this 5th inning and straining another Mohawk on base. Mohawks have already left 4 on base for the first 4 2/3 of this one. Kotz ready with a 1-2 from the stretch. Gets and deals. Belted in foul ground, right field side. Gets out of the ballpark into the tree line. As Ladahoff will see at least 1 more pitch. 1-2, high and upstairs, ball 2. So Kotz just can't seem to get that third strike to get out of this top half of the 5th. Down there at second is DiGiorno. 6-5 are the hits in favor of the Mohawks right now. Even keel stands in the box, ladder off, his feet spread far apart. Kotz delivers. Ball 3. Ladoff thought he had drawn the walk as he was about ready to throw his bat away, but the count's full as Kotz having another one, his second of the inning. Should the walk to DiGiorno on the first one, looking for a strikeout on this one. Underneath this one, pulled by Carrera out of the air. He was waving off Delvecchio and Hardin, and he able to pull it in the glove for the out here to end this top of the 5th. The Mohawks going to strand another on base. Bottom of the 5th coming up next. It's 5-3 Amsterdam. Top of the Outlaw order, bottom half of the 5th as we're already halfway home here from Damascus on this Thursday night. Tanner Hardin for the 3rd time in this ball game already. Is Haley going to hang in the ball game at least for now? Heavy throwing going on in the Mohawk pen as Hardin tips the first pitch he sees bat foul. Hardin bat-to-bat, 4-3 ground outs to start his night in the 1st and 2nd respectively. Matt Carrera, Marco Moises behind him, 1-2-3 in the Outlaw order tonight as he lays off, and the count's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike. Haley comes set and delivers the 1-1. Hardin lays off, it's ball 2. Hardin, another guy who was really driving them in BP today for the Outlaws as he had a couple of fly balls deep onto the warning track. Had Brody Rowley leap up for one and, quote-unquote, rob him of a homer in BP today. It's the 2-1, misses off the plate for ball 3. Rowley not in the lineup tonight for the Outlaws after playing yesterday down at Saugerties. Him and Jack Hopko always seemingly in the lineup on the same night. It's Hopko, our player of the game yesterday, 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles and a run scored as the count goes bat full. Every morning after Outlaws games, check out our social media pages because we announce our player of the game, and we also have our play of the game. As the 3-2, slow roller to second, DiGiorno pits up, fires on the run. It's a 4-3 to retire Hardin to begin the 5th.
The shortstop from HBCC, number 46, Matt Carrera.
So second to first goes the put away. As first is 3rd in your scoring, second base 4, shortstop 6 with third base being 5, and then left field to right field 7, 8, 9 in that order. Carrera going to take a first pitch right down the gut, 0-1. Carrera 1 for 2 to begin his night as he singled in the first. Now he's going to tip one straight back to the screen, foul. Flew out to center in the 3rd, and now he faces an 0-2 hole here against Haley. Carrera's left foot way back off the plate with the 0-2. Comes in high at the hands, ball 1. Lucky for Carrera, he didn't offer at that one. There's the 1-2 from Haley. Carrera, a huge moonshot. Gonna leave the ballpark out to the parking lot on our first base side. Carrera back in there as the 1-2 bounces in the dirt, ball 2. So after trailing 0-2, seen 2 straight balls here. Carrera with the even keel 2-2 count. High towards center field. O'Brien coming in as this one's coming down fast, and he's able to yank it in there for an F8 for out 2. O'Brien came in quite a ways to make the play on that one. As DiGiorno would have had a bad angle going back on that ball, so gave way to a center fielder, and O'Brien didn't disappoint. Marco Moises will come up next for the Outlaws, 2 away. Sends one straight on bat foul, 0-1. Moises 0 for 2 to start his night as he struck out swinging in the first, grounded out 4-3 in the third. 0-1, misses off the plate, ball 1. Moises, another one of those big high-energy guys on this Outlaw roster, always has a smile on his face in the dugout as that's ball 2. Moises was hunting balls in the middle of the zone today in BP against Josiah Azka as Azka and March split the batting practice throwing duties today, which has become quite the common thing here as of recently. Josiah started throwing BP, and then they switched about halfway through between groups as the 2-2. Haley going to deal it in there. Tipped on back as Moises stays alive. So Haley 1 strike away from getting out of this 5th inning and tying his longest appearance of the season so far here in his 3rd start. Bullpen's gone quiet for the Mohawks. As Haley now ready. Kicks and delivers the 2-2. Low and away off the plate as it goes full. So Haley working into his 2nd full count of the inning and the 5th in the last 2 innings. Comes set, fires it in, low and away for ball 4. Moises going to draw a walk as he's on base for the first time tonight, and Ethan Glossa now going to come on up.
County Community College, the left fielder, number 30, Ethan Glossa.
Glossa, one of those big golf guys, planning on hitting the country club tomorrow on the Outlaws off day. Quick glance to first, home with the pitch, and Glossa going to lay off. Also found out on the bus ride home from Saugerties last night, Glossa's a big country music fan as he loves Morgan Wallen. Seen him in concert a couple of times. For those of you Wallen fans, Cowgirls is his favorite song. As Moises able to get back in there standing up to first. Certainly not a bad pick on that One Night at a Time album. Glance to first. Moises once again taking a big lead off. Wants to run. As Glossa lays off, it goes 2-0. So if you want to watch that interview with Ethan Glossa that we showed during pregame, head over Outlaws Facebook and Instagram as it's posted there. Also another great interview. Keaton Mark, a lot of insight today as Glossa falls in shallow center. He's got himself a single, and the Outlaws have back-to-back runners on base. Moises advances to second. Glossa stands at first. Now Kyle Pollock going to come on up. Pollitt singled and came in to score in the second, grounded out 4-3 in the fourth. And now with 2 Outlaws on base, Pollock hoping he can get the Outlaws back tighter, down by 2 here in the bottom half of the fifth. Huge swing on that slider from Haley as he'll trail 0-1. Pollock needs a hit here as these Outlaw bats with 2 outs coming up cold thus far against Haley. Scored 3 in the second, back-to-back goose egg sends. Would like to put up bare minimum 1 this inning as Pollock, a little bouncer in third base territory's foul. So 0-2 is Pollitt down to his last strike. Pollock, after taking plenty of time to get back up to the plate here, 0-2 with 2 away. Left foot up tight to the chalk line, right foot way back in front of Spalletta. Hits are tied up at 6 apiece. As Haley fires, called strike 3 right down Maine. He rings up Kyle Pollock, and the Outlaws once again strand 2 on base. To the 6th inning we go here in Oneonta. It's 5-3 Mohawks. Clay Kotz has already recorded 6 outs out of the Outlaw bullpen, and he's going to stay in the game, at least for now. Oneonta's got some heavy throwing going on in the bullpen right now. As Kotz going to start off the 6th inning, seeing Pete Daniel. Daniel 1 for 2 in the ball game so far. As that one shot out towards right field, foul territory. It'll go 0-1. Daniel ground out 4-3 in the second, singled with a pair of RBIs in the fourth that really cracked this game open. As he lays off this one, and it goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Liam Wilson and Avar Williams going to be up to follow him in this frame for the Mohawks. Kotz with a huge sigh, the 1-1. Breaks in there tight for ball 2. In just a moment, we'll take our second look of the evening at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard. As Kotz is 2-1. Takes a couple of hops. Delvecchio backhand, fires to waiting 4-3. Going to be out 1 here to begin the 6th. Great play by Delvecchio to stick his glove around backhand style and get that one over to first.
Next up for Amsterdam, the third baseman, number 6.
And now looking once again at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard. Finals are ready. Newark over Geneva this morning from Colburn, 6-1. Boonville in Game 1 against the Albany Baseball Club takes a 5-4 victory, something to keep watch of, considering how tight the Outlaws played against Albany and the fact that Boonville has been pretty cold here as of recently. Watertown, 5-2 win over Mohawk Valley in Game 1 of their doubleheader. Top of the sixth out of Dwyer Stadium in Batavia. 4-2, the Mutt Dogs have the lead. As Kotz the 1-0. Another swing and a miss. Liam Wilson back even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Up in Utica, Blue Sox now a 2-0 lead on the Albany Athletics of the Twilight League. Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs lead Watertown 5-0 in the bottom of the 5th in Game 2 of their doubleheader. Bottom of the 5th at Auburn, 6-2 Niagara Falls the score. Kotz falling behind 2-1 in the count here in Oneonta. And the top of the 4th in Boonville, Game 2, Albany a 2-0 lead on the Lumberjacks. So a busy Thursday night here in the PGCBL. It feels like a Friday as Kotz draws it back even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Waiting, playing back at first. So is Harden over there at third. Harden's been up the middle for the Outlaws, but playing his first game tonight over there at the hot corner. It's a 2-2, called strike 3 on that lower outside edge. And now Kotz has recorded 8 outs here out of the Oneonta pen. Williams going to come on up. As Kotz hoping he can send down Williams and get through 3 innings and show that he's a depth option who has some length in his arm here for the Outlaws moving forward. Mark talked about in our pregame interview today and even a little bit off the record how he's going to start to assemble a rotation when it comes to the pitching. As through the first couple weeks, it's all about getting looks, giving guys a chance to see live hitters for the first time, and then it kind of comes to fruition who your top guys to go to are in terms of starters, and then who you depend on in terms of long release situations, who you want short release situations from, and in the tight games who you can depend on, and the guys who, when the game's a little bit further out, you're more to go to. Count goes 2-1 on Williams. Kotz is a guy thus far Mark is entrusted in these tight ball games as the Outlaws down by just 2 here in this top of the 6th at home. Laying off Williams, 3 balls and a strike. And you got to remember, you got this game tonight against the Mohawks, get the off day tomorrow, then you play Saturday night up at their place, and then Oneonta and Amsterdam don't see each other again until the middle of July as the Mohawks will be here for Game 4 of 4 in the season series on Saturday, July 13th. And by that point, this Mohawks lineup will probably look a lot different as they have quite a few guys leaving for the Cape Cod League here within the next couple weeks. Payoff from Kotz. Tip straight bat foul again. So Williams stays alive in the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the top of the 6th. The Outlaws, when we come back in the bottom of the 6th, going to have 6, 7, 8 up at the plate. Kotz to 3-2, bounces it in the dirt, sails to the backstop as the inning stays alive. Outlaw pitchers, there's something about having 2 outs. So when they get 2 outs up there and get to a 2-strike count, it just seems like a rarity to get a 3rd strike call or get a quick out. Aiden Stewart now going to come on up. He's in the 9 spot tonight, 1 for 2 to begin his day. Didn't come up till the 3rd, and he doubled, and then he struck out looking in the 4th. Big lefty who had a couple of hits last Friday in Game 1 of the season. Said Dangler, quick bullet to second, tag laid on, but safe. Is Williams going to have himself a bag, and he's now in scoring position with 2 away. Dangler's had quite a few dimes down to second base. He's having a hard time getting a tag to go his way. His runner's getting big jumps here on Outlaw pitchers. 0-1, sails up and away, ball 1. Dangler just concluding his senior year up at South Courtright. Going to be graduating, not next week, but the week after, and then he's going to Russell Sage in the fall, joining his brother Brian, who is available out of the Outlaw bullpen tonight. It's tipped back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kotz 1 strike away once again from getting out of the 6th inning. One and 2 the count, 2 away. Mohawks lead 5-3 here at the Maskey in the 6th. Kotz in there. Doesn't get that call. That one looked good. But it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outlaws trying to get back to the plate, get some momentum going. After 3 straight goose eggs on the board, is this once again going to miss off that lower outside corner, and it's gone full. Koch with his second full count of the inning and back-to-back at that. It's the 3-2. Little dribbler to the bat stop. Steven Spalletta waiting on deck down on the 10 spot for the Mohawks if they need him here in the 6th inning. Outlaws took game 1 of 4 of the season series Friday night up at Amsterdam, and the Mohawks trying to tie the season series tonight, keep their 3-game win streak going. Be no easy task to go to Mohawk Valley for them tomorrow, as despite the record for what the Diamond Dogs say, that team can show up any given night. 3-2. A little slow dribbler up the first baseline, waiting, going to take it unassisted, and they get out of the inning. Clay Koch records 9 outs out of the Oneonta pen. You couldn't ask for anything more from him, as it was a solid 3 innings at that. Bottom of the 6th coming up next. The Outlaws need runs. It's 5-3 Mohawks. Jesse Kuzmic was brilliant coming out of the bullpen for the Amsterdam Mohawks on Friday night, and now he sees a second straight appearance against your Oneonta Outlaws. He's the first man out of the pen tonight for Keith Griffin. Jesse Kuzmic, 6'3", 190. He's from Greenwich, New York. Just finished his sophomore year at Coastal Alabama North. Slings in his last warm-up pitch. What we thought would be the last is Kuzmic getting quite a bit of time to warm up here before the bottom of the 6th inning. Outlaws going to send 6, 7, 8 up to bat as Connor Waiting will be the leadoff guy here in the bottom of the 6th, and this team needs runs, and they need them now. 5-3 our score, and the Outlaws coming into tonight 6-4, losers of 2 in a row. They're 2 games back of Socrates here in the early part of the schedule for the top spot in the Eastern Division. But the Stallions, another team, the Outlaws going to see 3 more times here in the month of June. Then they'll never play them in July. So the momentum ground needs to happen here in June, and then you just got to keep your foot on the gas in July. Is Waiting going to trail in the count 0-1. Kuzmic, 2 games. He's got a save. 8 innings total pitched. 5 of those were against the Outlaws on Friday night. He came out of the bullpen to relieve Augusto in that first inning, as Augusto being charged for 7 runs. Kuzmic gave up just 1 hit, which was that Chase Armstrong 3 RBI triple in that first, and then held the Outlaws hitless through 5 innings after that. Waiting, trailing in the count 1-2. Kuzmic also threw 3 innings against Watertown on June 1st, so his innings have been spread out. He's a long relief guy. That one's in at the handball too. And with Amsterdam's being in the midst of a stretch where they play 7 consecutive days, including the doubleheader today with the All-Stars Academy 7-inning exhibition this morning. This team really needs to conserve arms where they can. Is waiting.
Cream stand, and you know what? You're going to get a tasty treat.
So waiting will come back to the box. As it counts 2-2, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th against the defending champs. Kuzmic delivers low and away, ball 3. As it's gone full here on the Outlaws leadoff hitter to begin the 6th. Waiting always aggressive with 2 strikes. It's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Tipped it right back into the glove. Is Waiting unable to get a good rip on one. And now we'll go to Jaden Ross. Waiting and Jaden Ross having a nice long conversation before Ross comes to the plate. And a big shout out to Mr. Ross watching down in Florida. Jaden's always telling me that you're watching down there. So big shout out. Thank you for your support, not only at Jaden, but our organization. Is Jaden going to settle on into the box? Lays off the first pitch as it's a called strike right down Maine. Dylan Millman going to be behind Ross here in the 6th inning for the Outlaws. The 0-1. Ross right up the middle. Picked up by Daniel on the run. High throw, but in time. 6-3. Ross retired. So that's the first time that Ross has been retired tonight. And it will be Dylan Millman. Millman was a little slow to come out of the Outlaw dugout with the bat, but he comes to the plate. And the Outlaws hoping that they can find some way to solve Jesse Kuzmic. They finally solved Nick Pettit last night down in Saugerties, and now to solve Jesse Kuzmic is the next ordeal. Kuzmic jogs this one over, underhand throw to first, and that'll be a quick 6th inning as Kuzmic comes out of the pen and retires the Outlaws in order 1-2-3 in the 6th. The 7th inning coming up next here at Damaski Field. It's 5-3 Mohawks. Well, don't look at his Western Carolina stats from this year if you want any indication of how long Clay Kotz can go. He's already thrown 3 innings, and he's back out to start a 4th as he sees Spalita to begin the Amsterdam part of the 7th. If it's anything like last night, though, it could be a case of Keaton Mark gives him 1 batter here to start an inning to see what he can do, and then depending on how it goes to the pen, because that's what we saw with Adam Champlin last night. Went 3+, gave up a hit to start the 7th, and out of the game he came. 2-0 pitch from Kotz. Spalita going to lay off as it's 3 balls, no strikes. Spolita 1 for 2 to begin the game, has an RBI. Just came back in the 4th inning as he reached on a fielder's choice. 3-0 from Kotz. Off that lower corner, but a called strike. It's 3 balls, 1 strike. Hits are tied up at 6 apiece. You take out the bottom of the 2nd inning and the top of the 4th in this game, and it's 0-0 on both sides. Drilled right up the middle. Takes a hop into the glove. Fired to first. It'll be 6-3. It's Carrera with a bullet over there from short.
Back to the top we go.
Spolita sent down to begin the 7th.
Michael O'Brien.
And Michael O'Brien now going to come on up to the plate. O'Brien's 0 for 3. And one thing about the Outlaws pitching staff in that game on Friday night up at Amsterdam, top 3 in the lineup, Outlaws pitchers held them to just a combined 1 for 11. So tonight a little bit different as both Hager and DiGiorno have had hits in the 2-3 spots in this Amsterdam lineup thus far. And DiGiorno also having reached on a walk, so he's been on base twice in the 3 spot in Keith Griffin's lineup. 0-1 from Kotz. In there, ball 1. For those wondering how Stanley Cup Final Game 3 is going in Edmonton, 0-0 score, 1:04 to go in the 1st inning as the Panthers trying to take a 3-0 lead on the Oilers tonight. Count goes 2-1 on Michael O'Brien, top of the Mohawks order here in the 7th inning. They're in the lead, game 2 of 4 in the season set against the Outlaws, 5-3, and Kotz now falls behind 3-1. Kotz drills the 3-1 in there. Tipped off the shoe of O'Brien, rolls to the left of the Mohawk dugout, and the count goes full. Kotz loves these full counts. As by my quick count, this is the 6th one he's worked himself into. It's a slow roller on the grass to third. Harden with a throw in time. Harden nails O'Brien at first, and there's 2 outs in the 7th.
The right fielder, representing Alabama, number 20.
Evan Hager, 1 for 3 on the night so far. A pair of swinging strikeouts with a single sandwiched in between. Also came in to score as he was the first run across the plate in this game for the Mohawks back in the 4th. First pitch is Kochko's fastball. He'll jump ahead. No balls, 1 strike. Koch trying to close out a 4th inning for this Outlaw bullpen, and I guess now we can make no assumptions of when he'll be done. There's another strike, and he jumps ahead 0-2. Marquez went 2 innings to start this game. Goebel lasted 1+, and since it's been Kotz's night. Marquez remarkably sending 6 up, 6 down to begin the game, coming back post Tommy John as the count goes 1-2 on Hager. So a remarkable story is Logan Marquez, and he'll see some more innings moving forward for this Outlaw pitching staff. Not too many, of course. So they're going to try to keep him on a low number, but Marquez will be an option as Koch going to fan Hager to end the 7th. He mows him down 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. We go to the stretch here at Demaski Field, 5-3. The Mohawks remain in the lead. Darren Dangler leads off the Outlaw half of the seventh as Kuzmic remains in the game on the bump for the Mohawks. First pitch is going to be a ball. Sent the Outlaws down 1-2-3 in the sixth inning, coming out of the bullpen to relieve Gage Haley, who went through the first five, giving up 3 runs, 3 earned, 6 hits for the Outlaws. Up this one skied foul, and it goes even on Dangler, 1-1. Dangler's reached both of his first 2 times up tonight as he doubled, picked up an RBI in the second, walked in the fourth, but was stranded at first as the Outlaws have left 6 on base in this game to this point. 1-1, Kuzmic from the stretch in there, high and away, ball 2. It's Del Vecchio in the 10 spot, and then we'll go to Tanner Hardin at the top of the Outlaw lineup. As a 2-1 from Kuzmic, Dangler shoots this one up, foul ground right field side, just barely leaves the ballpark into the tree area, 2-2. Dangler gonna hop right back on out, now settles in. Travels as far to Walmart as he does to play baseball here this summer. As it's 2-2, tip straight bat foul. Dangler from on the South Court right area. All farmland in his part of town. It's Kuzmic from that busy, bustling Albany suburb, so 2 complete opposites in that sense. Drills one in there high for ball 3, and it goes full on Dangler. So Dangler works it from 1-2 bat full to begin the 7th inning against Kuzmic. 3-2. Called strike 3, and Dangler has every right to argue that one. Curveball, and it looked like it missed that zone, but it seems to get tighter when the Outlaws are at the plate. Dangler's retired to start the 7th, and now Nick Del Vecchio going to come up. Talked about it with Keaton Mark today, but trying to adjust to those strike zone has certainly been a problem because the Outlaws getting no luck when they're at the plate. Del Vecchio lays off a first pitch called strike. Del Vecchio has been aggressive early in counts, yet to see more than 4 pitches in at bat here in his 2nd game in the Outlaw lineup. 0-1 from Kuzmic. Del Vecchio shoots it into shallow right, and he's going to have himself a 1-out single. So Del Vecchio's got his first hit as an Oneonta Outlaw, and now we'll go to Tanner Hardin, a guy who's been real solid up there at the top of Keaton Mart's lineup. Del Vecchio taking quite the jump off the first. He wants to run. Hardin shows bunt, gets it down. Spalletta jumps up, fires to first. They call out, but it looked like Hardin got in there. Hardin and Aska both arguing that call with a field umpire. Hardin for certain had got a foot down on that bag, which is what he was trying to say. Outlaws once again don't get a call to go their way.
Next up, shortstop number 46, Matt Carrera.
So it'll be a 2-3 put away on Hardin. If you're scoring along at home, there's 2 away in the inning, but it at least does the job of advancing Del Vecchio to 2nd. Del Vecchio in scoring position, Matt Carrera at the plate, 2 away, and Carrera takes ball 1. Carrera 1 for 3 as he singled in the first and has bat-to-bat flyouts to center field since in the 3rd and 5th. Kuzmic with a glance to 2nd. Called strike 1, up and away. Mohawks continue to get some good luck to go their favor as they've gotten the better end of quite a few calls on the young season, despite what anybody says. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 away. Carrera brought that bat around, but not enough to get a strike call. 2 balls and a strike it'll be with 2 away. Kuzmic working from the stretch with a runner in scoring position. 7-6 outs now favor the Outlaws. There's a slow bounce to the first, mishandled by Dion, throws it up high. Kuzmic is Delvecchio coming on, slides down to score. Great heads-up base running by Nick Delvecchio, going to turn into a run, make it 5-4 Mohawks. So the Amsterdam Mohawks get rung up for an error here in Oneonta. How's that feel? The Mohawk scorers give Oneonta 4 errors up there last weekend, and now the Mohawks get one on their end here in Oneonta. So a clear-cut error, Delvecchio in the score, and it's a 5-4 game. The Outlaws are back within 1 with Carrera on the base pass. Always a threat to run as Moises lays off first pitch ball. Moises trying to come up clutch here. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. It's a second pitch ball, excuse me. And it's 2-0. He's worked 3 ball counts in each of his first 3 at-bats tonight. Moises, a guy who's not afraid to take right to Dion to the bag, and that will Saran Carrera at first. But the Outlaws do play to run. They're back within 1 as we go to the 8th. It's 5-4 Amsterdam here in Oneonta. Welcome to the 8th inning, Clay Kotz. He's gone 4 innings already, and he hangs in the game to start the 8th here at Damaski Field tonight. He's pitched so well, so why not keep him out there? Clay Kotz recording 12 outs coming out of the Outlaw bullpen, and he's tasked with trying to get some more as it's 3, 4, 5 in the Mohawk order. So the heart of the lineup, and DiGiorno, first pitch swinging. It's going to get into the Mohawk bullpen area. It'll be 0-1. DiGiorno, a couple of multi-hit games already for the Mohawks this summer. He's yet to have one on the road, though. Is Kotz trying to find himself into a rhythm here to start this 8th inning. DiGiorno took a big swing. Got underneath that one, so it'll be 0-2. Kotz has certainly done everything that Keaton and Josiah could have asked tonight and more coming out of the bullpen. Giving them some great length as the 0-2 in their tight ball 1. Came up high hand level, and Kotz now looking for a third strike, something that he's had a hard time getting. He does have 4 strikeouts to his credit on the evening. His Kotz is 1-2. Bit high, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning at Damaski Field. We're glad you're with us here on Outlaws YouTube. Is this one a little dribbler foul? Make sure you join us Saturday night. We'll be live at 6:30 for pregame from Shuttleworth Park. 6:45 first pitch. As the Outlaws and Mohawks going to once again do battle after the Outlaw off day tomorrow. 2-2, DiGiorno out in the shallow right. Moises will play it off the bounce. And the Mohawks have a leadoff base runner here in the 8th. Keaton Mark coming out of the Outlaw dugout. Pointing down to the bullpen, trying to see if his guy warming up is ready, but not quite.
Number 27, Jimmy Dion.
So I guess the leash is starting to get small on Clay Kotz. 4+ will be his line at the bare minimum. Outlaw is going to shift to double play defense with a runner on first now. His team has only turned 4 double plays in the field so far through their first 10 games. Kotz delivers the 1-0, gets to the bat stop, and DiGiorno was on the run, going to have to retreat back to first. So the Mohawks always a threat to go on the hit and run play. 1 ball, 1 strike with nobody out. He owned the lefty in the box. 5'9", 180 is the own. As Kotz is 1-1, sails up and high, ball 2. Mohawks dugout pretty full here tonight in Oneonta as more of their guys have filed into town as the days have gone by. They hold DiGiorno down there at third. His Dangler sprung up like a jackrabbit to keep that one close. Three balls and a strike. Belted out towards left field. Played on a hop. As Glossa didn't want to lay out, so the Mohawks going to have back-to-back singles. Or back-to-back runners on base. There's a walk and a single, and now Keaton Mark going to come out of the Outlaw dugout. He points to the bullpen, so Kotz's night is over. He is responsible for the runners on first and second. He goes 4+ here tonight. Great outing for the big number 17 from Western Carolina Outlaws with a call to the bullpen when we come back. It's been a couple of years, and it's been a long time coming, but Tanner Bien makes his return to the bump here at Damaski Field. As the Mohawks, runners on first and second, and Bien being entrusted in a huge spot to make his season debut as it's a one-run game, and he's trying to keep the Mohawks at bay here. It's Cade Ladehoff at the plate for Amsterdam. DiGiorno's at second after the walk. Dion at first with a single. 1-0 in tight for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes on Ladehoff. And Biang, his season debut, wearing 35. He was a teammate of Outlaws head coach Keaton Mart back in 21 here on this Outlaw roster. Is the 2-0, and they're tight at the hands, ball 3. Biang hasn't played competitive ball in a little bit. Comes off a gap year. Being yet to commit to a school as well, so if you need a good high-leverage reliever guy, take a look at Tanner Biang on the hill right now for the Outlaws. Bases are going to be full for Biang. And Pete Daniel now going to come up. Outlaws immediately going to get somebody up and stretching down in the bullpen. Pete Daniel has 2 RBIs already in this game, and he takes a high one there for ball 1. Daniel, a couple of ground outs and a single. There's the 1-0 from Biang. Called strike, 1-1. Biang fires his first strike of the outing. And Waiting and Harden are both going to drift in a bit from first and third. Biang hits and delivers. High and in, ball 2. So Biang needs strikes, and he needs them fast here in this 8th inning. Biang comes set to 2-1. Out towards Moises in right field, gets a good read on it, pulls it down. Tagging in from third to score, going to be DiGiorno, and it's a 6-4 game as Daniel has his 3rd RBI. So it would have been a hard ask to come in with 2 runners on base and nobody out, and at the very least not advanced base runners, but he does give up 1. And that run will be charged to Clay Kotz. Clay Kotz also responsible for Dion, who's down there at third. In case you didn't see, Ladehoff, who was standing at first, tagged up to second as well. So it's 2 in scoring position, 1 out. Huge swing there. And Wilson going to trail. No balls, 1 strike. Ladehoff steps out and settles right back in. The 0-1 sails to the backstop. Dangler slow to get to it. Not even going to fire a throw. Another score. It's 7-4 Amsterdam here in the 8th. So on the wild pitch, Dion going to cross the plate. Ladehoff gets to third. And now the Mohawks 90 feet away from taking a 4-run lead here in the 8th. 1-1 count on Wilson as Biang fires it in there off that lower outside edge. 2 balls and a strike. Night won't last long for Biang if his outing continues like this as the 2-1. High and upstairs once more, ball 3. Biang just can't find that strike zone. Three and 1 out. Biang upstairs and away, ball 4. And this would be a situation where you might want to come talk to your pitcher. But it's first and third. Dangler stays put behind the plate and Mark in the dugout. Nobody comes to see Biang. And there's still just 1 away, and now runners at the corners. Bunt going to be shown, and it rolls over the chalk line, foul halfway down the first base line. So you can see the Mohawks not afraid to play small ball here in the 8th inning with a play like that. Williams will take his sweet, sweet time getting back to home plate. Pulling the swings with one out here in the 8th. Outlaws in danger of a 3-game losing streak tonight if they can't find a way to mount some runs in a comeback here over these final couple innings. 0-1 from B. Yang. Up there for the Birds, ball 1. Second base, the only bag open here in this 8th inning. Biang now responsible for both guys on base. It's the 1-1. Tip back. And now Biang, 1 strike away from another out. Count 1-2 on Navarre Williams. You're in the 8th spot in the Mohawk lineup. Outlaws certainly going to hope that the off day tomorrow, no matter how the rest of this one goes, can serve as a rejuvenation and energy boost charger, whatever you want to say, because they certainly need it. As this one laid off, and it goes 2-2, and the Buds start to attack again. Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Biang advances to first, delivers a pitch out towards left field. Takes a big curve in the air and drops down foul. So Biang fighting for every pitch right now. It's been a tough day for this Outlaw offense. They've only scored in 2 half innings. Played at a 3 spot in the bottom of the 2nd. Didn't score again until they put up 1 when they were at the plate in the bottom of the 7th. Up and away. Seems like so long ago. Did this offense make it a 1-run ball game, as it was 5-4 heading into this 8th inning. Mohawks have played at 2, which have created this 3-run gap. Full count pitch from Biang. Put up foul. Williams hanging alive. Ladohoff is down there at 3rd. Wilson was on the move from 1st. He's trying to get down there to 2nd. Biang once again going to do the payoff as his pitch 8 of the at-bat. Comes set from the stretch, the 3-2. Up and away, ball 4. And Biang's now issued 3 walks.
Approaching the plate for the Mohawks, the designated hitter, number 5, Aiden Stewart.
So Wilson advances over to 2nd. It's Ladohoff at 3rd, Wilson at 2nd, and now Williams at 1st. And up will come Aiden Stewart. Bases loaded for Amsterdam with just 1 out. First pitch a strike. Biang needs more of those. Biang hits and delivers a 1. Called strike 2. So Tanner Biang starting to find a rhythm. Now with 2 strikes, needs a 3rd. Gets and deals. Low and away, ball 1. Steven Spalletta will be next up for Amsterdam here in this inning. The 1-2 from Biang. High shot, shallow left field. Hardin going back on it, and they drop it. Miscommunication between 3rd, short, and left field. And a run scores for the Mohawks, and that about sums up the night so far for the Outlaws. So it'll be 8-4.
Catcher from Mississippi State, number 22, Steven Spalletta.
So the base is still going to be full for the Mohawks. And now it's Wilson down there at third, Willie Yums at second, and Stewart at first. Spaleta up here, now in a 1-0 count. It was charged as an error to Tanner Harden. As Biang missing the plate, 2 straight opportunities. Just nothing going the Outlaws' way here in the top of the 8th inning. 2-0 again misses, ball 3. And you got to wonder how long the leash is going to stay on for Tanner Biang right now, as he can't seem to find the strike zone. .3-0 from Biang. Called strike. As he painted that lower outside corner with that one. .3-1. Up and away, ball 4. Biang's walked another. Keaton Mark on the top step of the dugout. We'll see if he does take the ball from Biang. Going to tell the umpire to halt things. It's a slow walk to the mound. Haven't seen him gesture down to the pen just yet. So he is indeed going to take the ball from BA. So he records just 1 out. And the Outlaws, another call to the bullpen as it's now 9-4 here in the 8th inning. Welcome into the ball game, Martin Thorsland. 1 out here in the 8th inning, and you've got your hands full. The bases are loaded for the Mohawks. Already 4 home in the inning. Is this one upstairs and away, ball 1. It's the top of the order for Amsterdam as we're now to our 9th batter of the inning. Thorsland, who looked shaky in his first appearance of the season, has certainly made a spot for him down in the Outlaw bullpen here in his last couple of games out. Count's going to go 1-1 on O'Brien after the foul ball. Take out that Saugerty start and combined over his last 2 outings, 6 innings, 5 hits, just 1 run with a walk and 4 Ks. Last pitch, game 1 against Albany on Saturday, through 4 innings, facing 17. Gave up that run, which gave him the loss, as he's technically on record for 2 of the Outlaw losses thus far. Now has a conversation with Darren Dangler. Dangler and Thorsland trying to make sure they're both on the same page here in this 8th inning. So we'll see after that first outing of the year for Tanner Biang what the Outlaws opt to do with him moving forward. Tip straight bat foul, 1-2. Thorsland, one of the local kids on this Outlaw roster from SUNY Oneonta, graduated from right here. There's the 1-2. Breaks high and away, ball 2. Thorsland looking for that 3rd strike, with it being now a 5-run ball game here in the 8th. Thorsland steps and fires high and away again, ball 3. Thorsland really needs one to go his way with the count full. Doesn't want to issue yet another walk, as the Mohawks already taken 5 walks in this inning. 3-2 from Thorsland. Tip straight bat foul again. We'll do the payoff over again. This is number 7 of the at-bat. Thorsland delivers the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He gets O'Brien on the fastball for out 2. And we'll go to Evan Hager.
Next up for the Mohawks, number 29, Evan Hager.
This is the 2nd inning tonight where the Mohawks will have batted at least 10. Thorsland fires one right down Main Street with a big swing. It's 0-1. Thorsland trying to finish off this inning, and I'm sure he'll be back for the 9th here for the Outlaws. Now down 5 to the rivals of the East. So he gets a called strike on that lower outside corner. 0-2 it'll go. Thorsland needs one more pitch to end this long and painful top half of the 8th. The 0-2 from Thorsland, upstairs and away, ball 1. Drake DiGiorno waiting on deck for the Mohawks if they do so happen to need him. DiGiorno's been dangerous down in the 3 spot in the order tonight. Drawn a couple of walks, has a single. Also popped out to 2nd. The 1-2 breaks up off the plate, ball 2. So not an easy road to end this inning. Thorsland trying to finish it off. The 2-2, low for ball 3. Hager, patient guy each and every time he's at the plate here for Amsterdam. This time proving no different. It's the deepest count he's worked tonight, though. Never seen more than 4 pitches in an at-bat prior. 3-2 from Thorsland, all runners on the move. Out towards the gap in right center field. Moises charging in on it. He dives, and the ball's underneath him. 2-run score for the Mohawks, and now it's 11-4. Hager picks up a pair of RBIs, gets into 2nd.
The second baseman for Amsterdam from Utah, number 3, Drake DiGiorno.
So Spalletta down there at 3rd. First pitch to DiGiorno. Going to take ball 1. Spalletta way back when took a walk against Clay Kotz to start this inning as the Outlaws on their 3rd arm here in this 8th inning. Clay Kotz started the frame, was pulled out in favor of Tanner Biang, only got 1 out. Now Thorsland getting 1 out, but a couple more runs have scored. And Amsterdam now up to 11 on the board. 2-0 from Thorsland. High, ball 3. So the Outlaws have really fallen apart here in this 8th inning, now with 6 runs. It's the 3-0, called strike, 3-1. Outlaws, when they do get to the plate in the bottom of the 8th, it'll be Ethan Glossa, Kyle Pollock, Connor Wading, 4, 5, 6 in the lineup. Called strike 2. And now Thorsland again 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Thorsland comes set, the payoff pitch. Pop back behind the plate, foul. So we'll do it again here in this top of the 8th. Thorsland throwing a lot of pitches here in this 8th inning. As the Mohawks working him deep and long. And finally a called strike 3. Thorsland takes a big sigh. And it looked like he said finally as he walks off the mound. The 8th inning is over, or at least the top half that is. The Outlaws need some runs, and they need quite a few coming to the plate in the bottom of the 8th. It's 11-4. Bottom of the 8th inning here at Tomasky Field. The Outlaws have 4, 5, 6 up at the plate, and they need to put some runs across. 11-4 our score, and Glossa fouls off the first pitch of the inning. Glossa 1 for 3 in the game. We'll see what this long layoff does to Kuzmic, who was in the dugout for probably a good 25 minutes or so, while the Mohawks played at 6 in the top half of this inning. Count quickly goes 1-1 on Glossa. Pollock and Wading up to follow him this inning is the 1-1 in there for a called strike 2, and Kuzmic wasting no time, jumping ahead. And Mohawks had 1 goal in mind coming in here to Oneonta today, and that was even up the season series. Because this will skip all the way to the bat stop. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Amsterdam now with a 7-run advantage. As the Outlaws going to try to string together a hit frenzy here in this bottom of the 8th. We've seen them play 7 in an inning. We've seen them play 6 in an inning so far already, so they can do it. Is this one going to just get past the line and fall in foul ground? Right field side. Carried quite a ways out towards that 335. Just kind of fell on down in front of the wall. And once again, if you're able, make sure you come join us Tuesday, Wednesday. The Outlaws going to be back here at home after a 3-game road swing. 2-2 from Kuzmic. Glossa lays off. It's 3-2. Saturday night will be at Amsterdam, 6:45 first pitch. Sunday, 6 o'clock start in Boonville. And then Monday, 6:30 first pitch up at Watertown. Payoff pitch from Kuzmic. Glossa spanned on that one. So he goes down swinging to start the 8th. Kyle Pollock now going to come on up. One thing about this Outlaw team you got to remember, they fight and keep fighting. This team isn't going to roll over and play dead despite what the scoreboard says. So this team going to do whatever they can to try to inch back closer in this ball game as everybody in this dugout stays positive no matter what, and Pollock taking a first pitch strike. Pollock last night, the big storyline was him making his return trip to Saugerties after playing for the Stallions last year. Pollock down in the count 0-1. Comes in tight. We'll go even at 1-1. Pollock Amaris Red Fox just finished his sophomore year there. Is Kuzmic from the first base side, deals the 1-1. Pollock lays off, and it's a called strike. Is Kuzmic beautiful with these fastball placement. Outlaws do have movement down in their bullpen. See what the deal there is going to be with Martin Thorsland. See if he comes back out for the 9th. As Kuzmic, the 1-2. Home plate ump looked like he wanted to go for the called strike 3, but bats off. It's 2-2. Kuzmic once again ready. The 2-2. Pollock tips it straight back. Stays alive in the count with one away. Waiting's on deck here for the Oneonta Outlaws in this 8th inning. 9-7 are the hits in favor of Amsterdam. And these two teams going to turn around and play again on Saturday after Amsterdam goes to Little Falls tomorrow for a 6:35 game. Pollock's rung up on strikes looking. And there's 2 away here in the 8th inning. Back-to-back Ks for Kuzmic.
The first baseman from Hudson Valley Community College, number 22, Connor Wading.
Connor Wading now going to come up for the Outlaws. He's 2 for 3 on the game. Had a 2-run homer way back when in the bottom of the 2nd. Also a single in the 4th. Was retired via strikeout swing his last time up. As he takes a straight swinging there. 0-1 it goes. Kuzmic now sliding over a bit more from the stretch is waiting. Sends one over the screen. Just barely going to leave the ballpark. 0-2, and the Outlaws down to their last strike here in the 8th. No balls, 2 strikes. Kuzmic trying to strike out the side here in the 8th. Gets and fires it in. Waiting, lays off. And it's ball 1. We're waiting for some delayed third strike call drama again here at home. Outlaws have just 1 loss in this ballpark thus far. It's the 1-2 from Kuzmic. Swing and a miss. And he fans the side in the 8th. The Outlaws down 1-2-3 on a trio of punch-outs. Top of the 9th coming up next here on YouTube. 11-4, Mohawks the score. The dangler to dangler connection is alive and well here in the top of the 9th inning for the Oneonta Outlaws. Brian Dangler nets out of the bullpen here for Keaton Mark and Josiah Ascot as they try to keep this game where it's at here in the top of the 9th, get Oneonta to the plate for the bottom of the 9th, try to claw together a comeback here against the reigning PGCBL champions. For the Amsterdam Mohawks, in this 9th inning, it's going to be 4-5-6. As Chase Sparks leads off the inning. This one bounced off the plate for ball 1. So the Mohawks making some changes coming into this 9th inning as they had Jimmy Dion in the spot. It's in there for a called strike, 1-1. Jade Sparks from Hoosick Falls, New York, 6'2", 210. Is Dangler's 1-1. Blasted up the middle line, shot caught by Del Vecchio for out 1. And we get another change here in the Amsterdam batting order as Ben Huckins going to come on up.
From St. John Fisher, now at the plate, number 25, Ben Huckins.
Huckins, a local product, he's a hometowner for this Mohawk squad, straight out of Amsterdam. Presenting St. John Fisher as Dangler with a strike. So Huckins primarily a pitcher, but can hit as well. The Mohawks using him here in this 9th inning as Huckins with an elevator shot on the infield. Carrera waving everybody off as the catch for the out. And there's 2 away here in this 9th.
Digging in for the Mohawks is number 13, Pete Daniel.
Pete Daniel does stay in the game as he'll come up to the plate with 2 away here in the 9th. Dangler sending them down 1-2 in a row. Is this one Bray tying at the hands, ball 1. Dangler's 1-0, high again for ball 2. Dangler's pitching in his 4th game for the Outlaws tonight. This would be his shortest thirds as he got the start against Utica. Couple of odd hops to short. Carrera over on the move to waiting. 6-3. And the Mohawks go down in order. Dangler with a 1-2-3. Top of the 9th. The Outlaws to the plate in the bottom of the 9th as they look to try to mount a comeback against the Mohawks.
Amsterdam 11, Oneonta 4 as we head into the bottom of the 9th.
Bottom of the 9th inning, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jaden Ross, going to lead off the inning for the Oneonta Outlaws. 7, 8, 9 to come to the plate to begin this inning, and they hope that they can make it many more than that as they're down by 7 here to the Mohawks. This team also positive, all upbeat, despite what the scoreboard says. And now they're trying to show that they have some life here in this bottom of the 9th, down 11-4. Ross taking a first pitch strike. Kuzmic trying to finish off another inning. So he would have 3 innings out of this Amsterdam pen as Ross tipping one back to the screen, straight beyond home 0-2. Outlaws off tomorrow, and that off day inching also closer now that we're in the bottom of the ninth. Next up at Amsterdam, Saturday, 6:45 first pitch. So we'll be live here on YouTube, 6:30. Ross hanging alive with a tipped up foul ball. So pitch for the AB with nobody out here, bottom of the ninth. Ross, a productive night. Has reached base twice, hit by pitch and a single. This one misses the plate up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kuzmic kicks and delivers. Ross with a high one just to the right of the foul line, first base side. And it's yanked down for out number 1.
The designated hitter from Marist,
Is
number
Amsterdam
21,
having
Millman.
Liam Wilson shift over to first base for this 9th inning. He was at third, but with the changes, was trying to figure out who 16 was. Took me a second, but Liam Wilson's over there at first for the Mohawks here for the 9th. First pitch swinging, Millman gonna shoot one out of the ballpark, foul, 0-1. So over there at third is Sparks here in this 9th inning for the Mohawks. Should be the only changes to their defensive adjustment. Sparks at third, Wilson now at first. As the 0-1, Millman lays off. It's ball 1 as it draws back even. Kuzmic getting it back even with the ball. The 1-1. Millman with a bouncer towards short. Picked up on the backhand to first, and Millman's able to run it out. He'll have himself an infield single here in the 9th. And now Darren Dangler will come up, hoping to keep the Outlaws rolling. One final look of the evening at the PGCBL out-of-town scoreboard. Newark this morning beating Geneva 6-1. Game 1, Boonville wrestles down the Albany Baseball Club 5-4 in 7 innings. Watertown, Game 1 against Mohawk Valley. Rapids being the home team, 5-2 Rapids the final. Utica in a 7-inning game against the Albany Athletics, 2-1. Blue Sox take that one. Dangler towards shortstop. Picked up Daniel to DiGiorno. Touches the bag with a glove. They get the out there. But Dangler reaching first base on the fielder's choice. So Millman retired 6-4 down there at second. And Del Vecchio will have to come to the plate here in the 9th. Niagara Falls over Auburn 8-2. Game 2, Mohawk Valley answers Watertown with a win. 6-0. And in the top of the 7th in Game 2 in Boonville, 4-4 between Albany Baseball Club and the Lumberjacks. So that one comes down to the wire. Del Vecchio lays off the first pitch. It's ball 1. So the Outlaws getting through this lineup 4 times in total. It's Del Vecchio, the 10-hole batter, seeing his 4th at bat right now here in the 9th inning. 1-0. Upstairs and away, ball 2. Del Vecchio trying to hang alive here in this 9th inning. Keep this game going as long as possible against Kuzmic, who's yet to be charged for a run this season. Count it 2-1 with a quick checklet to first. Del Vecchio towards third. Sparks picks up, goes over to Wilson with it, and the ball game's over. The Amsterdam Mohawks going to come into Oneonta, even up the score in the season series 1-1. Is your final tonight going to be 11-4. We're going to step aside for a quick break here on Outlaws YouTube. When we come back, we'll wrap things up for the night. So the Amsterdam Mohawks will celebrate as they pull back even in the Eastern Division standings with the Saugerties Stallions, as both teams now going to be 8-2 after the Mohawks 11-4 win against your Oneonta Outlaws. Losing skid is at 3 for the Outlaws, and they will head into Amsterdam on Saturday night with a lot to prove as they try to grab their second win of the season up at Shuttleworth Park. We'll be live on YouTube at 6:30. It'll be a 6:45 first pitch as the Outlaws record now 6-5. Amsterdam's at Mohawk Valley tomorrow night, 6:35 start. So Mohawks fans who might have been watching our feed, make sure you catch your team up at the Diamond Dogs in Little Falls tomorrow night. But again, we'll be back here with you 6:30 from Amsterdam, New York, Saturday night, 6:45 first pitch as the Outlaws and Mohawks going to do Game 3 of the season series. Thanks for watching this one. Your final tonight, 11 for Amsterdam.